evening, college football fans. Well, here we are. Bowl season is just days away. But we got all the picks coming for you tonight as well as a recap of what was an incredible CIF Open State Championship game. St. John Bosco does it again, and they are national champions yet again in the high school football world. Also, how about my beloved Riverside Community College Tigers, baby? That's right, national champions. Second one and first year since 1989, 30 years in the making. I'm so proud of that team. Congratulations, Coach Kraft and those mighty Tigers. Also, we'll be talking a tad bit about the NAIA National Championship coming up next week. Stag Bowl is coming your way. That's right, Friday night. The NCAA Division III National Championship is coming your way, and it does not involve Mary Hardin Baylor or Mount Union this season. Oh, yes, a fresh new taste. We shall see who wins it. Also, NCAA Division II National Championship, Fair State is out of the picture. Congratulations to West Florida. That's right. They will be taking on a tough Minnesota State team. We got lots to talk about in the FCS playoffs. And like as I mentioned, bowl season and the college football playoff is on the way. You are tuned in live to 3 and Out College Edition right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Welcome, college football fans and high school football fans. What's going on, y'all? It's me, your boy Larry, bringing it to you here on a beautiful Tuesday evening. That is right, beautiful Tuesday evening here in Southern Cali. Man, it is, for us, okay? For us, it's a little bit of a nippy day. Just saying, y'all. A little nippy, but let me go ahead and get the weather on my phone real quick. Yeah, it's 56. I'm sorry. We got a little chill in the air. You know, it's 56, y'all. It's cold for Southern Cali. But yeah, I mean, it's actually a little nippy outside because of the wind. But regardless, I'll tell you what, it is a beautiful day outside. My apologies to everybody who's out there shoveling snow. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be a jerk. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just saying. But what's going on, y'all? Well, with that said, as I mentioned, we have ourselves one heck of a show today. I'll tell you what, we have ourselves some fun. As I mentioned, we are going to get into what was a pretty awesome state championship. Going to touch briefly and basically just announce the champions of CIF of state, that is, of this season. Pretty cool stuff there. Also, I want to jump in a little bit, as I mentioned. I got to talk about my RCC Tigers. And it has been such an incredible journey for this team. I mean, it's awesome. It is absolutely awesome to see how far this team has come and how strong this team really is. So, it's a lot. It is super awesome to say that we are finally champions. So, to be able to say that I played for this team, to be able to say that I was, I put on that uniform, I played on that field, and this team has been able to do something that amazing. It is just such an honor to have been a part of this amazing era of RCC football. And hey, what can I say, y'all? We are the Communities College. That's right, baby. The class 2020 has restored the roar, baby. Well. We got plenty of that coming your way, as well as I'm really excited, okay? Super excited for the Stag Bowl, because the Stag Bowl in the past, I mean, I've been watching Division III all that much, but I'll tell you what, the Stag Bowl has, in the coming years, before doing the podcast, that is, or before podcasting. But I'll tell you what, the Stag Bowl is awesome. I think it is probably one of the coolest things ever. I am such a big fan of this game. And because, you know what, once again, everybody deserves props. D3 deserves their props as well. And the Stag Bowl is pretty freaking sweet, alright? This thing started back in 1973. And, I really love the fact that it's a big thing. I mean, it'd be kind of cool if there was more lower divisions kind of spread around TV, but it is what it is. But I just gotta say, this is a really neat, especially this year, it's a really neat game because, it's not about, okay, I like the dominance, I do, and I like the, the monopoly, if you will, of certain teams, because it's kind of like trying to, the target on your back, trying to knock them off kind of deal. But, it's really crazy when you see teams that are just doing it, and doing it well. I sound like LL Cool J right now. But I'm just being real, it's cool when you see teams like Bama or New England, doing their thing. Coach Saban and Coach Belichick are the tippy top of the coaching realm in each of their worlds, in college football and in the NFL. And it's because of their due diligence as well as because of, their expertise in their field. And that goes that also goes into teams who are extremely talented, like Mount Union and Coach Karras. Karras, I believe. I don't want to butcher his name, but Vince Karras of Mount Union. And at Mary Hardin Baylor, another amazing program who's just emerged a couple years ago. They made it back in 2004, but they haven't really been much since then. And now here they are. And they are really picking it up. This team has become a very, very tough team. And I really got to tip my hat to that entire organization, the entire program at Mary Hardin Baylor. Extremely tough team. And they've been able to really blow the doors off of the Division III realm of football in the last couple of seasons. Now, when it comes down to the dominance, I do like it, okay? I do really like the, the dominant kind of thing. It's kind of cool, trying to knock off the giant, if you will. But my biggest thing is just, when you get someone fresh and new in there, is that a new dynasty? Is it a one-time deal? That kind of thing. So, taking a look here, good old Wikipedia, but, take a look, of course, the last couple of Stag Bowls, that is, sorry about that, you see the trend. Mount Union, since the Virginia-Salem era, which is kind of crazy because they started, and the crazy part about this year's Stag Bowl is super, super crazy because it was from 92 all the way up until 2 years ago, 2017, where they started to do the game out away from Virginia. Last year, it was in Texas, and wouldn't you know, Mary Hardin Baylor, well, they won it, and they're right there at home in Texas. And this year, the freaking game is going to be in Ohio, like an hour away from Alliance. I forgot where it's at. But it's going to be right there, okay? It's not going to be too far away. It's going to be in Canton, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's actually going to be at the Hall of Fame Stadium, okay? Sorry about that. Actually, no, it's not. It's going to be in, this year, it's going to be in Texas. My apologies, y'all. So, last year, it was the end of the era in the Salem era, okay? Then, this past year, or this year right now, it's actually going to be in Texas. And it's in Shenandoah, Texas. Okay, not quite sure how far away that is from where Mary Hardin Baylor is at. Regardless, how crazy. I thought for sure, and I think everybody else did in the Division III world, that, well, since there's two, powerhouse teams, and the bowl's going to go to both of those schools, going to travel around now, well, wouldn't you think it would kind of be between Mary Hardin Baylor and Mount Union? There's been a couple of big-time rivalries, okay? Like Mount Union and Wisconsin Whitewater, the Purple Raiders and the Warhawks have had their go. It was that game, okay? Seriously. Mount Union took on Mary Hardin Baylor from 2005 all the way into 2011. They skipped 1 year where St. Thomas made it over Mount Union, over Wisconsin Whitewater. And then, wouldn't you know it, 2013 and 2014, it was Wisconsin Whitewater and Mount Union again. So, yeah, as you can see, I thought this was going to be some kind of a back-and-forth deal, like some Celtics-Lakers stuff back in the 80s. And I was like, oh, how cool is it going to be now? They're not in one location anymore at the Stag Bowl. They're going to go head-to-head in this game, okay, in the Stag Bowl, but it's going to go to Texas. It's going to go to Ohio. In 2020, it'll be in Canton, Ohio, or 2021, that is. It'll be in Canton, Ohio. So I was like, or I think it'll be in there for at least 2020. So don't know where it's going to be in 2021 yet. But I'm just saying, how cool would it have been? Okay? But this year is what it is. And, I think that it's really cool when you have that type of deal. And when you have this really cool, this really, really, really cool, rivalry going back and forth. So I think it would be really neat for this to happen. But, yeah, so, just looking at the locations here, I think it's this year it's going to be in Texas, like last year, or it's next year, and next year's going to be in Canton. Like I said, sorry, my apologies. But regardless, I thought it'd be really cool if Mount Union and Mary Hardin Baylor would have gotten a chance to play Stag Bowls in closer realms. You know what I mean? Like one in Texas, basically a home Stag Bowl for Mary Hardin Baylor, and a home Stag Bowl for Mount Union. Well, guess what? That is not what happened, and we're going to get into that in a little bit, because I'll tell you what, this is quite the story. Both these teams fizzled out, and man, the teams that beat them, it's only fitting that they made a deep run, right? So, anyway, that's my little story for today on that. Division 2 is absolutely nuts. I love Division 2 so much this year, especially because a special story, okay, coming out of Division 2. The Argonauts have a special place in my heart. I'm a low-key, well, not really low-key, but I am a West Florida Argonaut fan all day long. To think, production for their program began in 2015. They began as a program in 2016. In 2017, they made it all the way to semifinals, and they lost on a very tough play. Okay, it was an incomplete pass. Texas A&M Commerce came out, took a knee. I think that was their first time as well. We had 2 first-timers in that game. And while somebody had to win their first time, and it wasn't West Florida, I was very happy for Texas A&M. Commerce, that is, and their really cool field. That field is awesome. If you get a chance, take a look at Texas A&M Commerce's field. It's freaking sweet. So anyway, with that said, we have the amazing story of Texas A&M Commerce, but then the sad story of West Florida, because West Florida, this is so cool. It's their second year as a program. How neat would it have been for them to have ran the gauntlet in their second year? That has to be a record unless somebody's done it already, or somebody's already done it, or someone did it in their first year as a program. But I'm just saying, awesome. The very next year, last year in 2018, was just not their year. They pretty much just fell off. Nothing doing. I think they were out in the first round. Or if they even made it at all. I think it was something like that. But they didn't make it wasn't the best season. And this year, they go into battle with a team who was in the national championship game last year. And that's Ferris State. They were in it. They barely lost to Valdosta State. And Ferris State was coming back. They were like, "No, we're getting on this thing, homie. We're ready to rock and roll." And the Bulldogs were ready to knock off anybody in their way. And what happens? The Argos of West Florida will pull off. Well, first of all, they'll get back to the Final Four, which is already big enough. Then they get all the way, then they get all the way to the Final Four. Then they knock off Ferris State, which... it was a shock to me. It really was. I couldn't believe it. I was really happy, though. I was cheering those guys on. And they're the 4th seed inside the Final Four. So apparently they're the quote-unquote weakest team there in the Final Four. And now they're taking on number 1, of course, that was ranked in those Final Four games, Minnesota State. And the Mavericks are no joke. Okay, so I don't know if it's their first time making it this far or winning it, if they were to win it. But I'm pulling for West Florida all day long. This is my West Florida. They're like my sweethearts, guys. They're like my UMBC that you want them to make a deep run. Or even better example, they are my Ramblers, guys. Yes, they are. They are my 2018. Loyola Chicago Ramblers, all right, they are my team that I just want to make that deep run, and they are one game away from doing it. They're back to the national championship. So think of how remarkable that is. This is only their 4th year as a program, and they've already been to the final 2 times. I really want them to win this thing in their second try, and for them to be able to say that and make history. And if it's not history, then my gosh, some other team out there made great history that I don't know about. But I thought it'd be pretty great. And on top of that, I mean, Slippery Rock is no slouch in Division 2, and Minnesota State smacked them around. So that was pretty crazy. Anyway, that as well as more news. We're going to be getting into the FCS playoffs. And I really gotta say, man, you gotta give Illinois State a freaking applause or something, some love. Because they were able to keep North Dakota State to 9 points. And then they scored 3 of their own. So you gotta love this Redbirds team because they fought like hell. There's no other way to say it. It was the field goal bowl. And the crazy part about this game is all 3 of North Dakota State's field goals were scored in the second quarter. All of them. And the only field goal scored for the Redbirds was in the end of the third. So they came ready to play, y'all. And if they would have knocked off North Dakota State, how amazing would that have been? We had upsets in the Division 3 bracket like freaking crazy this year. We had upsets, we definitely had upsets in Division 2, especially that West Florida victory over Ferris State. And then we would have had a huge upset here with North Dakota State losing to Illinois State. However, not to be. The Bison are still holding strong right now, looking to hold their 3-year streak alive. I believe this will be the 3rd year winning it. They win it this season, and it wouldn't have been for 2016 and the James Madison, and the James Madison Dukes. Well, they could be like on a 9-win streak right now, I think, or 8, something like that. But anyway, so hats off there. So we're going to talk about how Montana State ended the season with a bang this year versus the Montana Grizzlies. And then, their chances against North Dakota State. Are they exposed? And then James Madison just doing what James Madison does. I mean, I really expected them to get to this point, and they did. And then Weber State, just being a dominant school as they've been, they're back in it. It seems to me like they're always around the Final Four, but they never seem to get there. So, you'd love to see that. So I don't know. Are we going to get a rematch of 2017, I believe? Or are we going to get that rematch of James Madison and North Dakota State? Or are we going to get 2 newbies? Or not 2 newbies, but 2 newcomers? Is Montana State going to be able to upset the juggernaut that is North Dakota State? And is Weber State going to be able to knock off James Madison? I mean, really? This is going to be super cool. So, we got that coming up for you this week as well, this weekend. That's coming. And then, as I mentioned, next week, which we'll get more into next week, the NCAA National Championship. Marion, the team who knocked off St. Francis 2 years in a row. St. Francis won it all in 2016 and 2017. They're taking on the monsters from last year, Moorside colleagues. So that's going to be pretty cool. We got those 2 teams, the Knights taking on the Mustangs next weekend in the NCAA National Championship. So that's to come as well. And then, of course, bowl season, making those picks today. Gonna go through every single bowl. I know Taryn and I did that last week, but I'm gonna go into a little bit more depth and kind of just talk a little bit more about, why I'm picking who I'm picking. So, anyway, we got all that coming up for you, as well as a little CIF football coming your way, state championships coming your way. So, hey, enjoy the show, be ready, pick along with me, and show some love. You know how it goes, y'all. Rolling today here on 3 and Out College Edition, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. With that said, y'all, I'm going to take myself a little bit of break here, because I'm going to give me some PBJ, because I'm hungry. I just had a really good lift a little bit ago. Just got home. Going to enjoy me some peanut butter and jelly. Might make a little hot chocolate. Throw some coffee creamer in there. I don't know. Enjoy enjoy that a little bit. I'll be back in about 10 minutes to deliver the download, or whichever you like to call it, on all these college and high school battles of this past weekend. And, of course, get you ready for all the national championships coming up this week. Once again, you're listening to 3 and Out College Edition right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll see you on the other side of this break right here, once again, on IE Sports Radio. Don't go away. I'll be right back.
From the home plate to the nets, the end zone to the finish line, here nothing is off limits and no sport is safe. Not what it seems, with your host Caitlin Seam, bringing you sports like you've never heard before. Catch me Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, right here on IE Sports Radio. The only question is, are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your man Jelani J.B. Bodie, host of this thing called The Wait a Minute Show, and it is time. Time for the 2019 Wait a Minute Show Toy Drive. The Wait a Minute Show, along with X Squad Radio Network, is raising money for kids of the nonprofit organization Helping Hands of Paulding County to buy toys for children of all ages. Last year, we helped 80 kids. This year, we're shooting for 100. You can donate 3 ways. Go to thewaitaminuteshow.com, click on the GoFundMe button, or you can do the PayPal or Cash App button and type in thewaitaminuteshow@gmail.com to donate and help make a kid's holiday season. The Wait a Minute Show Toy Drive, putting smiles on kids' faces since 2014. Lopan, let's go.
Drivers, start your engines. Auto racing takes many forms, from the close quarter contact of NASCAR
to the high-speed, high-risk atmosphere of IndyCar,
all the way to the pinnacle of technology with the Formula One World Championship.
No matter if you prefer the high banks of Daytona,
the concrete canyons of Long Beach,
or the flowing curves of the Nürburgring.
The international language of motorsports is simple. Go fast,
run hard,
and come home first.
So join us, myself, Darrell Kinsey Jr.,
Lolita Camello,
and Michael Ward,
on a world tour of all the best motorsports has to offer on the Extra Mile, Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, only on your home for all. That is sports. IE Sports Radio.
Wrestling fans in the podcast world, you are in the right place to listen to the right show, the premier show in the professional wrestling podcasting world. This is Ring Rambling Radio, and you're listening to one of the co-hosts. I am Martin Sandoval, a.k.a. the SoCal Saint, along with my 2 co-hosts, the lovely Felicia and my boy Matt. Yes, every Saturday or every other Saturday morning, you can listen to us, the premier wrestling team, giving you the premier wrestling news, rumors, updates, event discussions, everything that has to do with professional wrestling. You're in the right place. IE Sports Radio presents Ring Rambling Radio. Don't miss it, because it's just too sweet.
Good day, folks. Yours truly, Nico Green here, reminding you, tune in to the Neutral Zone Hockey Talk Radio Show, Tuesdays, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern, proudly brought to you by IE Sports Radio. It's the Neutral Zone. All hockey, all the time. Take care. See you soon.
What up, all you boxing fans? This is Vince Wright, the sports governor, and me and Gilbert Batista are the host of Ringside on IE Sports Radio. Make sure you keep it tuned to IE Sports Radio, Spreaker.com for the latest edition of Ringside. All the boxing news you need right here. Keep it tuned, Spreaker.com, IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Good evening, sports fans. This is me, your boy Larry B, bringing you yet another action-packed, wall-to-wall episode of The Defining Moment right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Phil Robinson here at IE Sports Radio, taking this moment to welcome you to storm down the lane on the Fast Break Show with me and my man Phil Jones right now.
Hey everybody, it's the host of the fastest show on IE Sports Radio, Daryl Kinsey Jr., and I'm welcoming you to take a lap of the extra mile with me and my co-hosts Lolita Camillo, Caitlin Seen, and Michael Ward as we go through all of the news and updates in NASCAR, Formula One, IndyCar, and more. That's the Extra Mile, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on IE Sports Radio.
Hello, lovelies. Caitlin Seam here, host of Not What It Seems, where nothing is off limits and no sport is safe. On IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Two Wheels Wednesday with Matt White, taking you inside the pit lane of British Superbike, World Superbike, and the big one, MotoGP.
Hey everyone, this is Felicia, the First Lady of IE Sports Radio and one of your esteemed co-hosts of Ring Rambling Radio, along with Martine Sandoval and Matt Petrushka, for all of your wrestling news and talk, from everything from WWE to Ring of Honor, All Elite Wrestling, New Japan, anything you like. Be sure to catch us right here on IE Sports Radio.
Hey there, hockey fans. This is Cal Henderson
With Nico Green.
and we are welcoming you to join us on the Neutral Zone presented by IE Sports Radio throughout the hockey season.
Buddy, let me tell you, hockey's never been hotter, and neither has the Neutral Zone.
You definitely don't want to miss it, so tune in to youtube.com, IE Sports Radio, or IESportsRadio.com for all things that are hockey.
Hey everyone, this is your boy Phil Jones, co-host of the Unfiltered Truth with Phil Robinson III. Every Monday, 3:30, 6:30, and Tuesday, 5:30, 8:30 on IE Sports Radio. We're here to give you guys nothing but Raider news, breakdowns of both sides of the game, and interviews with active and former players and NFL analysts, because we are here to give you nothing but the unfiltered truth. We want you guys to get the real stuff. So join us every Monday night and Tuesday night on IE Sports Radio.
What's going on, football fans? This is me, your boy Larry B, inviting you to join myself, Callum Reynolds, Mike Pat, and John Felipe for one of the most electrifying football shows you have ever heard. 3 and Out, right here on IE Sports Radio. Recap of the week before, a preview of what's to come, and of course, 3 hardcore head-to-head primetime face-offs each week. You don't want to miss it.
You love racing, and we love racing. So join myself, Lolita Camillo, with my co-hosts, Daryl Kinsey Jr., Caitlin C., and Michael Ward as we talk racing on the Extra Mile here every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern on the IE Sports Radio Network, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Oh yeah, if you're a fan of professional wrestling, if you're a fan of WWE, if you're a fan of All Elite Wrestling, if you're a fan of the sport of professional wrestling, you're in the right place. Hello, I am the SoCal Saint, Martine Sandoval, coming to you live with Ring Rambling Radio, along with the First Lady of IE Sports Radio, Felicia, and my good brother, Matt Petrushka. It's Ring Rambling Radio, part of IE Sports Radio. Dig it!
Hello and welcome to the Soccer Scoreboard Show with your host, Gabriel Montoya. This is the show for soccer, football fans, or whatever you call the beautiful game. Every week I tackle the latest and greatest news from around the soccer world, from the English Premier League to the World Cup to MLS, Liga MX, and more. You can listen to the Soccer Scoreboard Show and our lineup of fantastic guests every Friday at noon here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Are you a big fan of baseball? Well, then join us every Tuesday on the International Empire Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, Brandon Buckingham. I have my co-host, Taryn Rodriguez, and Blake Henley. Join me every week when we will discuss the latest in sports. See you then.
What's up, IE Sports Radio family? This is John Felipe, one half of the Brothers Blue, coming to you from Charlotte, North Carolina. You can catch me on any one of those shows, on 3 and Out, on The Brothers Blue on YouTube, as well as IE Sports Radio, your home for all that is sports.
Warning, warning. The following opinions are not sanctioned by IE Sports Radio. The truth is a beautiful thing. We would never twist it, nor will it ever be sugar-coated, so prepare yourself. I'm Phil Robinson, he's Phil Jones, and this is The Unfiltered Truth.
Hello, this is Michael Ward from The Extra Mile, and you're listening to IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey, IE Sports Radio family, this your boy, Mr. Gumbo himself, Caleb Fat Mac Reynolds. What up? You know I'm part of the Defining Moment NBA segment and also 3 and Out. Holla at your boy from the Big Easy all the way to your front door. This is IE Sports Radio, your home for all that is sports.
Hey guys, it's Blake Henley, better known as H-Town Blake to some of you. Happy to announce that Bases Loaded is back and in full force. We'll be bringing that high heat every Tuesday night here on IE Sports Radio. So come home, get ready, dig into that batter's box, and see if you can chase that high heat, baby. Because we'll be coming to you live with all the stats, all the rundowns, all the division rivalries, and every team that's going to make the playoff push to get to that one and only October and get to the pinnacle of what baseball is, to hoist that Commissioner's Trophy when it's all said and done.
This is your Bautista, the Cut Man. You can catch me each month alongside Vince Wright, Sports Governor of Minnesota, talking boxing on IE Sports Radio.
Hello, sports fans. This is Mike Pat, co-host of 3 and Out NFL Edition, editor of the IE Sports Radio blog, diehard Redskins fan, alumni of the Florida State University, and all-around sports fanatic. Come check out my stuff and more on IE Sports Radio, your feed for all that is sports.
Hey, this your boy Phil Jones, also the host of the Fast Break Show, with Phil Robinson III joining me as my sidekick as always. Look, we come at you guys every Friday night at 5 p.m., 8 p.m. Eastern. Look, we give you guys all the latest NBA news from NCAA as well and the WNBA. We also let you guys know pregame, injuries, whatever you need to know for basketball, for your fantasy league as well. So look, y'all tune in for the Fast Break Show every Friday night at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern on IE Sports Radio. Y'all take care.
What's good, everybody? My name is Taryn Rodriguez, co-host for Bases Loaded. You can catch me, Brandon Buckingham, and Blake Henley on Bases Loaded at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time on IE Sports Radio. It's sure to be a grand slam.
This is Matt Petrushka, one half of the Good Brothers of Ring Ramblin' Radio, with Martine Sandoval and Felicia Ruizrager, and you can catch us each month talking everything wrestling right here on IE Sports Radio, your home for all that is sports.
Do you love college football? And do you want to hear a college football show dedicated to all that is college football, including junior college and the CCCAA and the NJCAA, the NAIA, and the NCAA, including Division III, Division II, Division I AA in the FCS, and Division I Single A in the FBS. Well then, look no further. Join myself, Larry B., and my colleagues, Mr. H-Town Blake Henley, and Mr. Christian Espinoza, each week during the college football season for the latest in college football on 3 and Out College Edition, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And that happens to be the show you're listening to right now. That is right, y'all. 3 and Out College Edition. Bring it to you live right here on a beautiful Tuesday evening. Once again, Tuesday, December 17th. Fun fact about Tuesday, December 17th. It's 4 years ago today. That's right. At around 8:30. 8:36, 8:37-ish to be exact. I graduated with my bachelor's degree from the greatest school ever, California Baptist University. That's right. That's right, baby. Oh, yeah. Thank you. You're too kind. It was an awesome day. Awesome day. Remember, like if it was yesterday, I remember Thursday Night Football that night was actually Rams and Buccaneers, I think. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it was. But it was color rush uniforms too, so they were all cool looking. But anyway, with that said, awesome stuff. And here I am. My gosh, I'm actually going to apply for graduation in January. I'll graduate in August with a master's. So super awesome. It's always been a ride. And as always, all glory to God. That's right. Without Him, nothing is possible. Without our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, nothing is possible. And I got all glory to Him. I love you, God. And hey, I love all y'all too. Because without y'all, the listeners, we ain't nothing here at IE Sports Radio. So big applause for y'all. Appreciate y'all so much. Thank you. And with all these applause buttons going, I'm not going to do it again. I mean, in a little bit I will. But I just got to say, man, congratulations. The 2019 California, what the heck, one more. The 2019 California State Champions, as well as 2019. Did I say 14? Wow, I hope I didn't. The 2019 California State Champions in the Open Division, so, Division 1. And, of course, the 2019 High School Football National Champions, St. John Bosco, baby! Congratulations to the St. John Bosco Braves! $36 commits. D1 commits. Can you imagine that? 36 Division 1 commits. It's awesome. Like I was watching the game the other day, and it was crazy what they were saying. Like, yeah, that's crazy because some of these guys don't even start. They're Division 1 commits. That's ridiculous, but that's so freaking cool. Anyway, on Saturday, this last past Saturday, December 15th, what a game it was. They pulled off the victory. And honestly, it wasn't like it was anything like it really wasn't like it was anything too crazy or out of the ordinary, like if it was like some kind of big upset. De La Salle's a great school. I mean, come on, a school went 11 years undefeated from like 94 to 05 or something like that. I forgot what it was. And I've never seen When the Game Stands Tall. I know, my bad. But I do know I was aware of the record before that. That's right before I got into high school, as a matter of fact. Around there, actually, like my sophomore year, like my freshman and sophomore year, around there. But yeah, this team is, St. John Bosco deserves every bit of props you can get. However, St. John Bosco, man, this team is just, they're unreal. They're unreal. To think of the size and the athleticism, I mean, DJ Uiagalelei is amazing. This guy is, he's going to Clemson next year to do his thing. And it's exciting to see, how talented he really is. And watching this game, just seeing these guys, I mean, they scored first. It was 7-0 in the first quarter. And after that, they would score 14 more in the second. De La Salle would manage to get on the board in the second quarter. However, 21-7 at the half, and there was no slowing down. So the Braves ran wire to wire in this game. And taking a look here, look at Uiagalelei, what he does. 24 completions for 29. This guy only missed 5 passes. 410 yards. That's ridiculous, right? 4 touchdowns. His QB rating was a 162.7. I mean, this dude is legit, man, and I love it because he's all about his team. I forgot what comment he made about his team, but I think somebody had asked him during or after the show, like, oh, you were great out there, and I told him, like, about your numbers. He says, yeah, no, the team was great. And he's a team guy. He's a team-first guy. He knows he's good, but, he's humble. He's extremely humble. He's all about the team, and that's the kind of guy you want. So I'm excited to see what he can do with Clemson, and Clemson's definitely going to be good for at least another 4 years, in my opinion. Hopefully he stays the senior year. But, of course, I'm not at all, shifting away from Trevor Lawrence. That guy's amazing, but I'll tell you what, after he leaves, they're going to be pretty all right. After he goes to the NFL, they'll be pretty all right with this youngster behind him. So, and whoever else they decide to bring in, but he's an amazing player. I mean, my gosh, 6'6", I think, and like 230 something. This kid's a senior in high school. That is incredible to think he's that big in high school. But anyway, so those are his numbers for the game. He actually rushed as well. Look at the 67 yards. He's actually the leading rusher for the Braves in this game. He had 5 carries for 67 yards. That is ridiculous. And he had 1 touchdown in this game on his feet. And then passing, well, he threw 3 touchdowns. As a matter of fact, he ran in for 1 and then had 3 thrown. And to those 3 receivers, we had Hudson, who had 7 receptions for 132 yards. That says a lot right there. 38 was his long, and he had 1 touchdown. Vaughn's as well. He had 1 reception and 6 for his long and 1 touchdown. And then Loya, that is, sorry. He had 10 receptions, 132 yards, and 1 touchdown as well, and 29 for his long and 1 touchdown. So, I mean, that's ridiculous already. And you look at this, I mean, these guys were all over the place. I mean, the defense, I wish the defensive scores were up here. But, yeah, I mean, the defensive, like, the tackles and everything, I don't see any of that here on maxpreps.com. But I'll tell you what, it's just crazy to think, like, this team, they're so stacked. Like, they're so dang stacked. It's not even funny. They're extremely talented, as I mentioned. And there's just so much that comes along with how good this team really is. So, anyway, moving forward, this team, or the second half, was, as I mentioned, nothing too out of the ordinary. You'd expect after a dominant performance in the first half, you'd expect the same deal in the second half. And that's pretty much what happened. De La Salle this year, I heard Papanakis in the I forgot the other broadcaster's name, but you all, everybody knows Papanakis. Everybody knows him. But I'll tell you what. When you see the talent of De La Salle, I mean, they're extremely talented, but, they were saying these are a smaller group of guys, but they're definitely, they're up to the challenge, and I love it. I mean, they do that old school thing where they come to the line and snap their hand in real quick and then snap the ball, or just throw their hand down the dirt really quick in their stands, and then snap the ball to open a 2-point, and they go to a 3-point. It's super cool, but, and they managed to score 14 in the third, but as they scored 14 in the third, St. John Bosco also scored 14 in the third. And then St. John Bosco would do it again in the fourth, another 14. De La Salle only managed to get 7. Do the math. And St. John Bosco will win this thing 49-28. And like I said, there's nothing out of the ordinary here. Clearly the better team won, and they're a good school. It's nothing against De La Salle. De La Salle is amazing, but I guess overall, you gotta love how talented this team is. I mean, overall, they were just they had a dominant performance. They're a dominant team. 30, as I mentioned, 36 Division I commits. I mean, you can't say anything more about that. I mean, that's how good this team really is. And they pulled this thing off. So, yeah, big ups to an extremely talented football team in St. John Bosco. And, just looking at the talent level in this team, I mean, of course, nothing against Mater Dei either. They're an extremely talented team. To think earlier this year, Mater Dei would knock them off in Week 8, I really thought Mater Dei was going to be going to this game to play De La Salle. And, I thought they were going to beat Bosco again. But, hey, fortunately for Bosco, they were able to pull this thing off. That sack was incredible. Now, that was a really good game. Once again, not trying to say anything bad about De La Salle, that they're not competitive or whatnot, or they didn't have a, that great of a game. I mean, overall, the real, like, if you wanted to have a national championship game, or I'm sorry, like a state championship game, in my opinion, the game to watch was Mater Dei and St. John Bosco for the South in the CIF Division I final. However, you know what? I mean, that was a great game. I forgot who it was who got that sack at the end of the game. But regardless, I mean, my gosh, this team is absolutely ridiculous. St. John Bosco has proven they're battle tested. They're an incredibly great team, and they have shown every bit of how good they really are. So congratulations to them once again. This team deserves every bit of props. They deserve every bit of love you can give this team, because they are exactly what you would, the perfect combination of what a amazing team is. They had that many guys this year, so many of those commits, and they were able to do it. So anyway, they'll once again, St. John Bosco defeats De La Salle 29-28, and the Braves will win their third state championship in program history, their first since 2016, and check this out, y'all, it's their third in the last 7 seasons. Once again, y'all, give it up for the St. John Bosco Braves! Right here in Southern Cali, y'all. Right here. They're out of Bellflower. Mater Dei is out of Santa Ana. So this is crazy that like the two best teams in the nation are right here. It's super awesome. So they're right here in Southern California. But and Bellflower, and for those of you who live far away in different states, I mean, Bellflower and Santa Ana, it's really not that far apart. So it's crazy. I mean, one's in LA County, one's in Orange County, but it's just crazy to think that they're just it's not that big of a gap, and these two teams are powerhouses, like distance-wise, it's not big of a gap, and these two teams are powerhouses. So anyway, let's go ahead and talk about, I'm just going to go ahead and skim through the rest of California's championships. So in the CIF1AA, this is all courtesy of MaxPreps.com, CIF 1AA state championship. Congratulations to Central from the north. They will defeat Sierra Canyon 34-19. Corona Del Mar, dude. Oh my gosh. Taryn's happy about this. I know he is. Those teams are extremely talented. And that team is extremely talented. They won it all in Division III this year. I mean, they are just really good. I mean, they're a very good school. So they will defeat Sierra 35-27. I'm guessing Sierra is a team from up north. So they will win the CIF 1A championship. Next up, we will have in the CIF 2AA championship. State championship. We have Clayton Valley Charter. I'm guessing they're from the north because they defeated Aquinas 10-7, and that's my kind of game, man. Defensive game right there. So congratulations once again to Clayton Valley Charter. After that, we have Pacifica. They're from the south, from down here. Pacifica, or somewhere down here, I think. They will defeat McClemens 34-6. In the CIF 2A state championship. In the CIF 3AA championship, we have here Cardinal Newman defeating El Camino 31-24. I think El Camino's down here, so that goes to the north, I believe. If I'm wrong, my apologies, correct me. But in the CIF 3A championship, state championship, we have Bakersfield Christian defeating Rancho Cotate, I believe, or Cotate. I don't know how to pronounce that, but 42-21. And then we have here in the CIF 4AA championship, Ripon, I believe, defeating Highland 31-28. Then we have here in the CIF 4A state championship, Escalon will defeat, hope I didn't butcher that name, will defeat La Jolla 52-21. I know La Jolla is down here, so Escalon is probably up north. But yeah, so good team there, good game. Actually, it was a very good game. Well, actually not a very good game at all. Escalon destroyed La Jolla with 52-21. So hats off to La Jolla for getting that far, but Escalon put it on them, man. After that, in the CIF 5AA championship, we have El Monte defeating Del Norte, and that's cool, because if this is El Monte, the one down here in LA, that's awesome. So, big victory for them, getting that one done. That's pretty awesome. And then in the CIF 5A state championship, we have Milpitas defeating Rosetta, I believe. Yeah, Rosetta, 34-0. And I know Milpitas is up north, so Rosetta's probably somewhere in the south or in this region down here. So congratulations to them. And then in the CIF 6AA state championship, St. Bernard's will defeat South 34-20. Congratulations to them. Then we have in the CIF 6A state championship, we have Celsian College Preparatory defeating Bishop Union 37-18. And then in the CIF 7AA or 7AA state championship, we have Lincoln defeating Gardena 35-26. So congratulations to all of the state champions of California this year in high school football. If any of y'all want to add any champions from your state, let us know. I'll tell you right now, tonight on the inaugural episode of Lake Effect Sports, from the Northeast, Newtown High School pulled off an incredible feat. I heard all about it on Monday Night Football last night, or at least a little bit about it, and, well, Dee and her husband Mike will jump on the podcast airwaves tonight for the first time here at iSports Radio, and they're going to be discussing that since they're in the Northeast. So they will win a Connecticut State Championship. I don't know if they're like the big wigs over there, like the D1, kind of like St. John Bosco was over there, or is over here. I don't know if they're like comparable to that or whatever, but regardless, they got a pretty nice victory there. So congratulations once again. Well, congratulations to Newtown for winning it. You're going to hear lots more about them on Lake Effect Sports in about 2 hours. All right. By the way, what's going on, Taryn? Taryn's in the chat room right now, man. He says, go Tigers. Absolutely. We're getting into that right now. Taryn says here, Corona Del Mar was the real deal. Absolutely, man. These guys pulled it off, and their colors are so freaking cool. Like, I am such a fan of that blue color. So pretty cool. He says, Corona Del Mar was the real deal. Washington fans should get excited. Ethan Garbers was literally Lamar Jackson against Sierra. And he broke a CIF Southern Section single season passing touchdown record. Wow. Throwing for 71 touchdowns. That's incredible. We could see him on Sunday playing in the NFL one day. I believe so. If he's playing like that, my gosh. Then he says Corona Del Mar and El Monte both went 16-0. That's incredible. Good on them. El Monte had to play their game in the mud, but emerged victorious. Hey, you know what? I'm a big fan of that movie Leatherheads, and it is what it is, man. Playing in the mud, that's football. In my opinion, that's football. So thanks, Taryn, for the insight there, and thanks, man. Appreciate you. So yeah, definitely some big victories there, and I'll tell you what, guys. If, as Taryn said, if this guy, Ethan Garbers, is what he is right now in a couple of years at the higher level in college, well, he might just find himself at the even higher level. Absolutely, like Taryn said on Sunday's plan, and we could be talking about this guy coming up, so... Anyway, so great stuff there. Congratulations to all the high schools here in California, north and south, to win it all. And congratulations to all the schools around the country. So as of right now, I just really want to give at least, I've got to give the top 25 a little bit of love, because what the heck, we got 3 hours, right? So, I want to do this real quick because I think everybody deserves it. And if anybody knows anything about any of these schools around the country, well, let me know. And if not, well, here we go. We're going to jump on into the top 25 that was updated on the 15th, so just 2 days ago, on Monday, the 15th, on Sunday, the 15th, and we are going to talk about them from bottom to top, or from 25 all the way to 21, well, from 25 to 21, to 25 to 1. So, anyway, so 25 this year, courtesy of MaxPreps.com, we have Pickerington Central Tigers. They will go 14-0 this season. So congratulations to them. I'm sure that all these teams have won some kind of championship, like their section in the playoffs, or maybe a state title. So I'm sure all these teams got something going on there. So Central out of Fresno, California, 15-0 season this year. So congratulations there. Central out of Miami will finish at 12-3. That's 24-23. Then we have at 22, Mission Viejo. I think we know a thing or two about them, for sure. They will finish at 11-1 this year, and they will get knocked off in the Southern Section semifinals. And, well, It wasn't the prettiest game for sure, because, I mean, St. John Bosco easily handling Corona Centennial, and then you have Mission Viejo, or Mater Dei, I want to say easily handling, but they won. they beat Mission Viejo. I mean, it wasn't like it was a close game, but a little bit closer than St. John Bosco defeating Centennial for sure, because that was quite the blowout. But okay, after that we have Dutch Fork. Look at this. I haven't even heard of this one. The Dutch Fork Silver Foxes. This school is actually interesting. I wonder where this is. Let's take a look here. I'm curious of where the heck this is. Dutch Fork. I've never heard of that in my life. RIRMO. So let's see here. Like I said, I'm very curious to find out where the heck this is at. I think it's in Texas. I think I found it. Yes, I believe it is in Texas. My gosh, they played schools all over the country. Okay, now this is a great... Oh, this is awesome. I think... Oh, wait. No, that's just the ranking. I'm sorry, those are just the rankings. I was just saying, man, they were all over the place, but that's really cool. So, Dutch Fork. South Carolina. I'm sorry. They're in South Carolina. So, okay, so they will finish at 14-0-1. Oh, they got a tie in there somewhere. And then that is up to 21. Then from 20 to 16, we have Ryan out of Denton. So they're in Texas. The Ryan Raiders. They'll finish at 15-0. Then we have let's see here, DeSmet Jesuit, I believe. I want to butcher the name, but the DeSmet Jesuit Spartans. They will let's see, where are these guys out of? Let's see, where are y'all out of? They are, take a look here, Missouri. Interesting. Okay, well, let's see. Yeah, they are in Missouri, so they will finish at, as I mentioned, 14-0. And at number 19, Corona Centennial. You know what? You got to give these guys some love, man. They, as you can see earlier, I retweeted the young man that we had, or one of the two young men that we had here on the show a couple weeks ago. Taryn and I got to interview him. Great dude, and he tagged us in his highlight video, and that's Aaron Smith. Wherever he is going, that team is going to be so blessed. They're going to be so happy they picked this guy up, because look at his highlight tape. It's just I just retweeted it a little bit ago. So scroll down a little bit on the IE Sports Radio page, and it's like right there, like a little bit further, like, right there down the page, like maybe a couple tweets down. I just saw it right now, but yeah. So Corona Centennial is an incredible school, and we're going to continue to see how good this team continues to perform moving forward. But yeah, they took that lashing from St. John Bosco. They would finish at number 18 in the country, so not bad. So at 9-3. Then we have Chandler. I think we all know where that is, of course, in Arizona. Really good school. I got to see them play Centennial last year. Centennial would beat them. I didn't get to see them, but they played at SBVC, San Bernardino Valley College, last year. Because of the fires, they didn't get to play too far to Corona, or close to Corona, or in Corona. That is because the air quality wasn't that great over there, but it was good in San Bernardino, so they got to play there. But yeah, so I have to watch it on TV a little bit. But anyway, after that, we have Corona Del Mar, which, you know what? Hey, this team absolutely deserves it, man. Corona Del Mar, 16-0. The Sea Kings. Look at that, man. Ranking of 16 after a 16-0 season. You know what? That is awesome. So I know Terrence probably happy about that. Then you have Geyer out of Denton. Look at that. You have two schools out of Denton, Texas. That's freaking legit, man. I hope it's the same. I hope it's the same Denton. I hope it is, because if it's not, then yeah, this one says Denton as well. So Texas, and I'm pretty sure the other one is Denton too. Ryan out of Texas. Let me take a look. Hold on. Take a look here. Yep, that's cool, man. Two top 25 schools in the same city. That's freaking awesome. So we have here, as I mentioned, Geyer High School. They went 14-1. They're currently number 15, so we'll go from 15 to 11 now. So Geyer, out of Denton, they are 14-1. Then we have, as I mentioned, number 14 earlier. I mentioned these guys out of Concord, up north, De La Salle. Really good school, man. I mean, seriously, this is, as I mentioned, I haven't seen it, but go watch it, the movie When the Game Stands Tall. I mean, they went 11 years undefeated, guys. This school has plenty of history. As a football school, just as a powerhouse, but They will finish at number 14 this year at 12-2. Then we have Carroll High School, the Carroll Dragons. They are also out of Texas. They will finish at, let's see here, where are they at? They will finish the South Lake. That is South Lake, so I'm guessing that's a city or the region over there. But they'll finish at 13-1. Then we have St. Thomas Aquinas, and they are the Raiders, of course. And they, let's see here. They are there's a lot of St. Thomas Aquinas out there. So, okay, they're also out of Texas. So, but yeah, good school here, and they will finish this year at 14-0 at number 12. So after that, a team that we saw, Lowndes out of Valdosta, we saw them taking on earlier this year, or like towards the end of the year, they would face, what was that school's name from Georgia? It was a Georgia battle over there. I forgot who it was, but yeah, I remember Lowndes for sure that they won that game. But yeah, it was oh my gosh, what's the name of it? Colquitt County, and I don't see Colquitt up here in the top 25. But anyway, so we have here, moving forward, Lowndes out of Valdosta, 14-1, and that's it. So from 10-5, we have Marietta Marietta. We have a Marietta over here in California, not too far from me, but I believe this is Marietta, how they pronounce their Marietta, because it's spelled a little different. But they are also over there in Georgia, and they will finish at 13-2 this season. So congratulations to these guys, getting a nice victory there. Out of, I believe they're out of Georgia, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they're out of Georgia. So, all right. After that, we have here North Shore, of course, a big time powerhouse over there out of Houston. The North Shore Mustangs, they'll finish at 14-1. Then Our Lady of Good Counsel, the Falcons, they are a school out of, let's see, where are these guys out of? And I don't see crap. Okay, that sounds like wonderful. But these guys right here will finish at, let's see, 9-3, currently number 8 in the nation. So hats off to these guys. And they look pretty it looks pretty tough right there. It's a pretty tough customer. So let's see here. They will, I think they're a Texas school as well. So, all right, next up we have here Corner Canyon. These guys are the Corner Canyon Chargers, and they are out of, thanks Max Preps. Whoops, kind of threw me off right there. This school is probably another Texas school, because everyone knows Texas high school football is a different animal, man. This is really good stuff there, so really enjoy me some Texas football. Kind of envy it. For sure. I'm a California guy all the way, but I guess the South and then football is such an amazing thing. Like they love their football, so yeah, awesome stuff there. So anyway, I don't know where the heck these guys are out of, but they will let's see here, finish at 14-0. Then we have the IMG Academy, and these guys were up there like for almost the entire season. Man, I've seen these guys up in the top 25, up in the top 5 like all year. The IMG Academy Ascenders are in the top 10 at least, and these guys, man, they're the real deal. This is a really good school. I would love for there to have been some kind of national championship between, like the top 2 ranked, but I guess that wouldn't make sense if they were both in the same state. But it'd be kind of cool if they were. Tara and I were talking about that before, a couple weeks ago. But yes, the IMG Academy. Okay, so next up, after that, St. Louis Honolulu. And I remember seeing them, they would defeat Bishop Gorman actually earlier this year at home. And such a good team. Such a good team. St. Louis High School, like I said, I think they would defeat Bishop Gorman earlier this year it was like week 2 early on this year. I'm going to take a quick look at their schedule. And Bishop Gorman, of course, this year, like they won it for the last 10 years, and they would not win it this year. They were upset in the playoffs somewhere. It's quarterfinals, I think, or semifinals, but Yeah, St. Louis Crusaders, they would defeat Bishop Gorman 31-19 back on August 30th. I remember that, so big ups to them. Also, so they would finish, that's awesome for them to finish that high up, so they'll finish at 12-0. Then we have St. Francis Academy. This school was in the top 5 all season as well. Well, they were like right there. This school is out of Maryland, and they are a very good team. St. Francis Academy, they will finish at 11-1, and then of course Mater Dei at 12-1 out of Santa Ana, and then the national champions for this year, St. John Bosco out of Bellflower at 13-1. So there is the current top 25, and there you go. Let's see what Taryn has to say in the chat room real quick here. Taryn says, mixed feelings about Corona Del Mar since I'm a Newport Harbor alum, but I'm definitely happy on their historic season since they are in my neck of the woods. This year's team is definitely their best team of all time. And, well, I'll take your word for it, Taryn. These guys are awesome, and they have proven to be an incredibly good team. So, good stuff there for those guys. So, let's move on over now into a game that is just so dear to me. On Saturday watching this game, I was watching the live stream, and I was just so pumped. I mean, and of course, talk about RCC and San Mateo in the CCCAA championship. And my gosh, you couldn't ask for any more. In the very beginning, they were kind of scaring me because San Mateo came out and scored first, and that kind of irritated me. But it wasn't before long. I mean, RCC would just come out and go. I mean, it was just it was what you thought it would be. That's what I thought it would be. I didn't think that San Mateo was going to lay down for sure. I didn't think we were going to stomp out San Mateo, but I certainly didn't think we were going to lose to these guys. It's not the fact that, okay, San Mateo, I don't know anything about these northern schools. Okay, I'm not up there. I played in the CCCAA, but I never played against the northern schools. We never got this far. But they would defeat Modesto 41-0. Awesome. But what's crazy about this to me is we blew out College of the Canyons. Like, it wasn't even close. Like, I'm telling you, it was like 21 or 16-0 in the first 5 minutes of the game. We just looked like a dominant team. And, hats off to Jeff Gorham calling the game on Riverside TV with his other buddies in there, with his other commentator friends. But I'll tell you right now, these Tigers, he even said it, like, I think they're going to go win a national championship, and I said I think so too. I think they're going to win this thing, and they did. That was 2 12-0 teams going head to head. And it was quite the fight. Like I said, I got to watch every bit of this game. And let's just get into the recap, guys. So, alright, courtesy of CCCsports.org or CCCAA.org or CCCAAsports.org, we have here the box score. So, San Mateo would strike first. I remember this. So, 7, and then Riverside would score 3. So, 7-3 at the end of the first. Then, Riverside Avalanche! Because they would just go off in the second quarter, 21-0. So, yeah, 24-7 at the half. Talk about an explosion of offense in the second quarter. And then in the third quarter, San Mateo would actually hold Riverside scoreless and score 7 of their own. It would be 21-14 heading into the fourth quarter. And in the fourth quarter, Riverside just put the exclamation point on it. At some point in the fourth, I forgot when it was, but it was one more touchdown, and there was your final score, 31-14, and just what an incredible game. So we had here, I'm taking a look here, it was with 4:50 to go, and it was, how could I forget this? Ray Estes, I want to find out where this guy's going, because he's going somewhere. Ray Estes with the 8-yard pick 6, and it was like the easiest thing. Their quarterback was scrambling, and this kid's a good player, man. You know what? He's a good player. I know he didn't have the best game. It is what it is. Poor guy. But, good player. But I'll tell you what. He just threw that sucker up for grabs, and it was like the easiest. Like, he was under pressure in his own end zone, throws it up, and then Ray Estes just leaps up, grabs it, and literally just I don't think he high stepped, but he walked. He walked into the end zone. He definitely, it was awesome. Ricardo Chavez with the extra point, and with 4:50 to go in the fourth quarter, that was pretty much the explanation point on the game. And that was that. So, amazing performance by Riverside. Let's take a look here at all the leaders. Jacob Barligge, this dude is amazing. 22 for 31. He threw for 286 yards. And he had here, let's see, 1 touchdown, no interceptions on the day. Pretty decent day. Next up, rushing, we had Thomas Kinslow, and this guy has just proven to be like a staple in RCC history. This guy is amazing. Seeing this guy run the ball, it's like watching of Division I. I mean, I know he's going somewhere Division I. I'm sure he is, but watching this guy playing as well as he has, at least in the playoffs when I've seen them, 26 carries for 103 yards. I mean, they wore him down a lot, and San Mateo was definitely a stout defense, but he still got past the century mark in this game. He got 1 touchdown in this game, so great job for him. Also, Elijah Bennett, 7 carries for 29 yards, so congratulations to him on a pretty decent day. And then in receiving, man, Dylan Laurent is amazing. This guy is freaking, seriously, dude is the real deal. Pretty dang good player. Of course, I forgot who got the MVP. I think it might have been Barlage, but I know we're going to get into Retzlaff right now, but Laurent was actually the leading receiver in this game. They targeted him 7 times, and I don't know if that many times they targeted him, but he would get 7 receptions for 124 yards. No touchdowns. But Giovanni Sanders, not the best day, but I know he didn't catch a touchdown, but who cares? He still had a decent little day. 5 receptions for 43 yards. He helped his team to a victory. And then Reggie Retzlaff, man, this guy, another player who I think we can see this guy playing on Sundays, man. He is extremely talented. 3 receptions for 41 yards. He had 1 touchdown. Just an incredible performance by him. And then, of course, big ups to our kicker. The guy went 1 for 1. Okay, Ricardo Chavez went 1 for 1 in field goals and 4 for 4 in extra points. So you can't ask for more out of your kicker, right? And his long, the only field goal he kicked of the day was 29 yards. So good job there. And then defensively, man, I gotta give props to so many of these guys. First things first, Sean Dorsau. I don't want to butcher his name, but 6 tackles, 1 interception. Alex Navarro Silva, 4 tackles, 2 assists. Kobe Fitzgerald's like our dude, man. This guy is the hitter. I mean, he's everywhere at once. 4 tackles, 1 assist. Isaiah Pow. This guy is awesome. You gotta love that name, right? 3 tackles, 1 assist, 1 forced fumble. This guy right here, Kue Alotoa. This guy actually came out of Orange Lutheran. They put that up on the cast. I was at the television, but on the stream. And yeah, I didn't know. That's pretty cool. But I think I saw on the roster because I was tweeting the game too. But this guy comes out of Orange Lutheran, so you wouldn't expect anything else out of a pretty big time high school like that. Edward Calhoun Jr., this dude, he went 4 tackles and 1 sack. I mean, sack party, right? Let's see here. Jalen Bowens, 2 tackles. 2 tackles in this game. Kylan Ross, 2 tackles. Torrance Hill, 2 tackles. I'm just reading the whole defense because I can do that. I don't care. Torrance Hill, 2 tackles. Zach Barola, 1 tackle and 1 assist in this game. Let's see here. Okay, that's too many to read. But anyway, I just gotta say, these guys really played great football. Ray Estes, of course, got 1 interception. Sean Dorsau got 1 interception. I mean, this team was just on a mission. And you know what? Also another forced fumble here. Agustin Borjoquez, I think it's Borjoquez, I believe. I won't butcher his name. But yeah, so awesome job for him. And then another sack in this game comes from... Oh, and this is a great sack. This is like in the 4th quarter, I think, or somewhere in the 3rd quarter. Sevilla Vito Lagoleo. This dude's an awesome player as well. This RCC team really came together and played just an amazing season. I'm so bummed if a lot of these guys are leaving next year, but I cannot wait to go see them play next season. Hopefully there's a lot of returns and we can do it again. So really proud of them, but hey, we're going to enjoy this year, and that's what it's all about. So I'm really excited for that. And then overall, guys, if you just take a look at the overall in this game, I mean, it was just really, it was close. First downs for RCC got 23 and 16 for San Mateo. But really, you take a look at it, it was just, look at this. Total offense, 431 yards for Riverside, only 217 for San Mateo. So you can see, they got their licks, but certainly RCC got a very good, got over 100 more yards than they did. Or, sorry, over 200 more yards than they did. Total plays, RCC ran 78, San Mateo ran 75, so close there. let's see here. Net passing, 286 for RCC, and San Mateo with 153. And then total, let's see, where is rushing? 145 for RCC, and Riverside's defense would hold San Mateo under 100 yards, under the century mark for rushing defense, or for rushing, that is, with 64 yards. And then we have here total return yards, 82 for Riverside, 105 for San Mateo, so they got something there. But overall, 2 interceptions. San Mateo did get 1, but 2 interceptions for Riverside, 4 sacks for 34 yards for Riverside. San Mateo did get 1 sack for 3 yards, and then fumbles lost. We had 2 fumbles lost for RCC, and 2 fumbles total, and then 2 fumbles for San Mateo, but only 1 of them was lost. But regardless, I'm just saying, overall time possession, and this is even crazier, time possession was less. Like, it's a couple more minutes, about 3 minutes less here. We have Riverside with 8 minutes and 37 seconds, and San Mateo had the ball for 31 minutes and 23 seconds. So overall, pretty good day at the office for Riverside. San Mateo didn't have the worst game, but it certainly wasn't their best game. But regardless, hey, only get one try at this, and RCC just had the better day and the better team, and I'm just very proud of these guys. So, ladies and gentlemen, for their first time since my birth year, 1989, in 30 years, and their second time all time, ladies and gentlemen, the CCCAA national champions, the Riverside Community College Tigers! Thank you. But yeah, I'll tell you right now, I am so proud of this team. This school has just proven to be that juggernaut team that, you know, and I'm just so excited and happy for them. So there it is. So both junior college seasons have completed. We now, as we know, a couple weeks ago, we had Mississippi Gulf Coast defeating Lackawanna. And then we have here RCC, Riverside Community College, defeating San Mateo. So junior college is officially done for the year. And, well, we'll get back on it next year. With that said, we are now moving on in to, as I mentioned, the NAIA is going to be next week, the national championship, so we will get into that good stuff. But, yeah, Marion taking on, Morningside, so we'll have a little bit of a, I don't know if Taryn will be back with me, oh my gosh, I can't even talk. I don't know if Taryn will be back with me next week, but we'll get you the rundown, or I'll get you the rundown of that game coming up next week. But let's go ahead and mosey on now into that Division III matchup, because, man, I am so excited for this. So I kind of already gave you the quick and dirty sense of it, and that, of course, is the Stag Bowl. And this is just an awesome game. You can't say enough about the Stag Bowl, because once again, it's a Division III, guys, the Division III National Championship. Division III has no scholarships. Division III doesn't really have much of anything but a national championship to earn. I mean, seriously, there's no scholarships there. Chances of you getting out, they are there, okay? As I say, Cecil Shorts, or as I usually always say, Cecil Shorts came out of Mount Union, okay? Ali Marpet came out of Hobart. So, he's saying, those are 2 players in the most, in a recent college era. Ali Marpet's actually playing right now. But, those are 2 schools that are just, 2 players that came out of Division III that can certainly, that certainly went to the next level and balled out. So, I'll tell you right now, I'm really excited for these 2 teams playing this Friday night. By the way, the game is Friday evening at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. Once again, Stag Bowl. We have North Central taking on Wisconsin Whitewater. Wisconsin Whitewater, man. Let's just take a quick look at this Wisconsin Whitewater knows a thing or two. As I mentioned before, many years they played against Mount Union in the 2000s, and now we're in the 2010s. Almost the 2020s, crazy, right? But, I mean, you think about this, and it's like Mount Union, I go right to Mount Union, right? That's my go-to with Division III, but how can you not? They're the Alabama, or they basically the Alabama, because Alabama's still Alabama. They're still the Alabama, if you will, of the NCAA or FBS. However, they're just not the dominant team at the moment. And the same thing with Mount Union. They're still the team that's won like a ton of titles. They still have the most titles ever won in Division III, I believe. But regardless, guess what? Sometimes things happen, and you're just, not the champs. And, either 1 year or 2 years or however many years. So I'm sure they'll be back. But with that said, we will go on to the semifinal games here. And really, there was nothing really to take a big look at versus... Okay, so let's go to the semifinal. This is courtesy of NCAA.com, where I'm getting my sources from for the NCAA Division III bracket. So, we have here, in that Final Four, Wisconsin Whitewater, they wouldn't handle St. John's because it was a really good game. The Johnnies gave them one hell of a fight. But this game would actually, and trip out on this. Let me go ahead and get the scoring in this because you gotta. I can't even give it justice. I gotta read it off the website. But this is so awesome. With 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go, we have don't know his first name, W, but looks like Gasencia Gassienica. Yeah, Gassienica with the field goal, and I think that's his name, but nails it. So sorry if I butchered your name. I don't want to butcher his name, but my bad, dude. But he will nail the field goal here, and there it is, guys. That is what would give us the final score of 35-32. This game would come all the way down to the 2 minute and 10 second mark, because it's kind of cool. They would actually score a touchdown. They were down 32-24 in this game, because in the fourth quarter it was crazy. I mean, this is a really crazy game, okay? So let's go ahead and just even take a look at the box score real quick, because in the first quarter we would have here, let's see here. Okay, so the Johnnies would actually lead 7-5. Got a baseball score going on there at the end of the first quarter. Then at the end of the second quarter, at the half, they would have plenty of just going back and forth. Still remains a 1 point game. However, now Wisconsin Whitewater will lead this thing by 1 point, 22-21. Okay, so went from a 2 point game to a 1 point game. In the first half. Then the third quarter, just 2 field goals were the story. We have Wisconsin Whitewater leading 25-24. And then into the fourth quarter, Max Mailer will run it for 38 yards, and there's a touchdown. And, well, there's now 31-24. And the extra point, okay, Gasenica, I believe, with the extra point, is 32 now to 28. So St. John's needs a touchdown and a 2 point conversion to tie this game up. What do? They score a touchdown and a 2 point conversion. Okay, so by the way, the Wisconsin Whitewater touchdown was at 13:47 to go in the fourth quarter. Then we get on in to the touchdown by the Johnnies, and that was with 7:43 to go. Kai Barber with a 1 yard carry into the end zone. It looks like Ravi Alston with the extra point. With a 2 point conversion. It was good, and now it is 32-32 with 7:43 to go in the game. But once again, with 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go, Gasenica will nail the 30, well, I don't know how many yards it was, but will nail the field goal. 35-32. The Wisconsin Whitewater defense, the Warhawks defense, did enough to keep the Johnnies away from at least field goal range to go into overtime. And there you go, y'all. The Wisconsin Whitewater Warhawks, a team who, I mean, once again, you can't say enough about these teams who just fight tooth and nail, man. You get to this game, and it's like, it is huge. This is a huge game, guys. Such a great battle here, and such a great team, Wisconsin Whitewater, for even moving this far. But certainly a awesome day for them. And, well, wouldn't you know it, Wisconsin Whitewater, man. This team will get this thing done, defeating the Johnnies. Oh, what a tough game for the Johnnies, man. It was super crazy, but they pulled this thing off. And just so happy for this team to be able to pull it off. And, they were victorious. So, Wisconsin Whitewater are headed to the Division III National Championship, a.k.a. the Stag Bowl, to take on a team who I just really think is a really hard team to beat. But Wisconsin Whitewater, once again, will win 35-32, and the Warhawks will advance to their 10th national championship, or their 10th Stag Bowl in program history, and for their first time since 2014, where they played, guess who? Mount Union. So, congratulations there to Wisconsin Whitewater. Better luck next year to the Johnnies of St. John's. That was a really good game. But, alright, so, after that, we will then get on into the game that actually happened earlier that day. This was the second game of the day, actually. The first game was a game that was just... There's nothing to talk about. There's really not. A good game. North Central will just do the dang thing. I mean, look at this dude running the ball, man. Ethan Greenfield. 21 carries, 199 yards. He almost got to the 2-century mark, okay? I mean, look at that. Amazing job. He didn't get in the end zone, but who cares? Awesome job there. Okay, their quarterback had a pretty decent day. I mean, he did throw one pick, but it is what it is. Brock Rutter with 16 for 25. He threw one pick, but he had 5 touchdowns in this game. So they lit up that they lit up that dang scoreboard like the 4th of July. Okay, like a Christmas tree on the 4th of July. Okay, so smacked him around. It was just kind of ugly, and that's pretty much how this one ends. 45-14. Look at the receptions, too. Andrew, looks like Kamiensk, I believe. Kamiensk. 11 receptions, 112 yards, and 4 touchdowns. So, yeah. North Central Illinois just kind of took Muhlenberg around the woodshed, 45-14. And it was just a beating from there. I mean, there's really no sense to go into everything here. It was just pretty much a beat down. By the way, to look at the top scorers from Wisconsin and Whitewater, forgot to do that. But let's take a quick look here over at Whitewater. So, leading rusher, Max Mailer, 6 attempts for 85 yards, not bad, and 1 touchdown. And then Alex Pete was 11 receptions for 44 yards, no touchdowns for him. Passing, Max Mailer, well, that's their quarterback, so would you look at that? He was the leading rusher and the leading passer, but 15 for 34, he threw 2 picks, but he also threw 1 touchdown. And then receiving, Ryan Wisniewski with 4 receptions, 96 yards, and no touchdowns. And then Derek Kumerow, Kumerow, with 5 receptions and 1 touchdown. So, we are good to go with Division III because, well, there you go. So, anyway, going into this, game, the Stag Bowl, I don't really see much. Okay, I'm not gonna say that I don't see much of a battle, because I do. But you just gotta give props, man. The 2 teams who knocked off, and it was only fitting, right? The 2 teams who knocked off the 2 teams who were in the Stag Bowl the last 2 years, in the quarterfinal, Wisconsin and Whitewater will defeat Mary Hardin Baylor 26-7. Then they would move on to the semifinal to defeat St. John's, okay, Minnesota, 35-32, and now they're taking on North Central. Okay, so that was the story for the Warhawks. Okay, I mean, before that, they would defeat Redlands, a team out of SciAC over here in California. They will defeat Redlands 43-14. And Mary Hardin Baylor will defeat Huntington 42. Whoopsies. That's Mary Hardin Baylor. Wisconsin and Whitewater would defeat Monmouth, Illinois 35-10. Then they would defeat Wartburg 41-28. Then they would go on to defeat Mary Hardin Baylor 26-7, and then they will defeat St. John's, Minnesota 35-32. So that's the story of Wisconsin and Whitewater all the way to this point, okay, this far. Then we have North Central Illinois, a team that I guess wouldn't have guessed whatsoever to have got this far, because once again, Mount Union was in that bracket. Well, guess what? North Central Illinois will defeat Wabash or Wabash, I believe, I don't want to butcher the name there, but 51-15. Then we get on into the second round where they will knock off Mount Union 59-52 in a really good game there, okay? So North Central Illinois will defeat Mount Union. Then they go on to the quarterfinals where they will defeat they will defeat Delaware Valley 31-14, and then on Saturday they will defeat Muhlenberg 45-14. So it's only fitting, like I said, okay, and if either of the other teams would have won, okay, but it's only fitting, in my opinion, the teams who knocked off the two teams who have previously been in the last 2 years, and one of them just being an absolute dynasty, basically, in Division III. It's only right that those two teams make it. I mean, okay, maybe it's not only right, but I'm going to say it's just something that you would kind of assume, and, well, yeah, there it is. All right, so we have here Wisconsin Whitewater taking on North Central Illinois. In this game, I don't know if they picked the favorite or not. I don't see it, but it is in Shenandoah, Texas. So I think last year was the last year in Salem. So yeah, how crazy is that? So I want to clarify that on an upcoming show. And sorry, a little sick here, sorry. But I'll tell you right now, just knowing that it could have been Mary Hardin Baylor at Texas, well, in Texas, play not too far from their school, Shirley, somewhere in Texas, a lot closer than Salem, okay, in Virginia, this year. And then next year, it could have been in Canton, Ohio, at the College Football Hall of Fame at the field. Canton's like an hour or two away, I think, or once again, it's somewhere in Ohio, so a lot closer than Salem, okay, for Mount Union, okay, from Alliance, where they are from. And I don't know the city where Mary Hardin Baylor is, but anyway, what I'm trying to get at is it's crazy to think that those two schools, or Mary Hardin Baylor, missed their chance to play at home or in Texas, and Mount Union, well, they lost their chance to play and defeat, or to play and even lose to, which no one wants to lose to. But I'm going to say, it would have been cool to see those two teams play, one in Texas and one in Ohio, kind of like a home game for each, but a national championship Stag Bowl. But this year was not meant to be. Let's see if this next year Mary Hardin Baylor head on over to Ohio and knock off Mount Union, or Mount Union knock off Mary Hardin Baylor next year at home, or neither team makes it again, or one of them do. We'll see. So anyway, with that said, this game is a close one, all right? Both of them are 13-1. These teams have been absolutely just amazing all season long. And, it's hard. It's really, really hard to pinpoint or to pick a clear winner in this game. But I'm going to have to, and this is a tough one for me, but I just feel that the team who has done a little more in this tournament, and a team who is just, I just feel like they have a little more umph. It should be a really close game. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm going to go with North Central, man. I think North Central Illinois will win this thing. It's going to be a close game. I'm going to go final score 34-20. No, I'm going to go 34-24. North Central wins this thing over Wisconsin Whitewater. That's my final score for this game. It should be a really good game, but I just think that, you know what, North Central knocked off Mount Union, and nothing against Wisconsin Whitewater knocking off Mary Hardin Baylor. I know that Mary Hardin Baylor was the champions last year, but what I'm trying to get at is I think there was just more. When you look at the scores, I just think North Central had a little bit more. They fought Mary Hardin Baylor tooth and nail. I'm sorry, they fought Mount Union tooth and nail, where Wisconsin and Whitewater kind of handled Mary Hardin Baylor. So some people can say, well, why aren't you going with the team who kind of handled one of those two powerhouses a little bit better? Because I can see it here too. They blew out Muhlenberg, and Muhlenberg's not like the worst school, but they just blew these guys out. There was no competition in that game. I mean, blew them out. And Wisconsin and Whitewater fought really tough against a really good St. John's team. Nothing against St. John's, but what I'm getting at is I just think North Central has a little bit more umph, and I think they're going to get this thing done. So once again, my final score, 34-24. I'm going to go 34-21. It's kind of, it's a little lopsided. I'm gonna go with 34-24. I think they'll win this game by 10 points, but it should be a good game. I'm taking North Central to win this thing in NCAA Division III, or in the NCAA Division III National Championship, the Stag Bowl. So anyway, off to Division II. Now, Division 2 was kind of interesting, and well, not kind of, it always is. So Division 2 is awesome. I really like Division 2. I like all the divisions, as you can tell. But courtesy of the let's see here, of NCAA.com, where I got all my stats and everything for Division 3. Let's move on to Division 2 now. All right, so this is a story central. Okay, Minnesota State literally just took Slippery Rock around the woodshed. There is nothing to even talk about here. Minnesota State, the Mavericks, just dominated. Okay, absolutely dominated Slippery Rock in this game. And you could even see here, like stat-wise, Caleb Sleazer, 3 carries for 79 yards and 1 touchdown. Then Nate Gunn, 15 carries for 54 yards and 3 touchdowns. Justin Arnold, 3 attempts for 1 yard. I mean, everyone was getting touchdowns in this one. For 1 touchdown. And Niles Williams, 2 attempts for 1 touchdown, for 7 yards, 1 touchdown. And Justin Arnold had 3 attempts for 29 yards and 1 touchdown. So, like I said, they were dominant on the ground. Passing overall, Ryan, I believe it's Schlichte, I don't want to butcher his name, but 5 for 7, so he didn't even throw that much, but I mean, dude hits 5, this is insane, 5 for 7, and he has 178 yards and 1 touchdown. That's freaking nuts. This other guy, JD Akoa, 5 for 9. He threw 2 picks, and he had 1 touchdown and 72 yards. So they're freaking stacked, okay? Then we get on into receiving. Shane Zlystra, he had 4 receptions for 152 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, really, guys, this is absolutely nuts. All right, like really, this guy Parrish Morrow had 3 total touchdowns and 3 solo touchdowns, and then there's a pick, but it doesn't say who got the pick. Anyway, so the point I'm trying to make is they absolutely got off. I mean, Minnesota State totally went off, got a huge day. Or had a huge day, 58-15, and gets destroyed Slippery Rock. Now to get into the game that was a little bit more competitive. However, it's a little concerning the fact that it wasn't competitive, or it was so competitive, and Slippery Rock and Minnesota State was not competitive. So we have here West Florida, the 4th seed, defeating the 1 seed, Ferris State. Now, this was just a good football game. I mean, seriously, this was such a good football game. West Florida, okay, look at these guys. Look at these numbers, too. Anthony Johnson, okay, let's see here, 16 for 45 yards, and Jervon Newton, 12 carries for 26 yards. None of them got a touchdown on the ground. However, Austin Reed threw 3 of them. He went 18 for 44 yards. Yeah, 44 yards only is all he needed for 3 touchdowns, okay? He did throw 1 pick, but it is what it is. And the receivers went wild, okay? Tate Letio, I believe. Tate Letio with 7 receptions, 118 yards over the century mark with 2 touchdowns. You have Kevin Grant, 3 receptions with 67 yards and no touchdowns, or 3 receptions for 67 yards, no touchdowns. And then you have Q Randolph with 4 receptions, 57 yards, and 1 touchdown. So, yeah, these guys were magic through the air, and they played pretty dang good. All right, then you have this dude over here going completely off. Andre Duncombe, I believe. 7 total tackles, 2 solo, and the dude got a pick. So this guy was everywhere, and he got a fumble recovery. So this dude was everywhere. And DeMar Givens, 1 total one touchdown, or 1 total tackle, and 1 solo. So good job. But yeah, I usually it's on the top. That's why. Also, another big performance. Chan Ferguson, 9 total tackles and 4 solo tackles here. And even crazier, this guy got a tackle for a loss as well. So I thought he got like a pick or something. But anyway, so as you can see, the Argonauts defense is everywhere. And they were able to pull this thing off in a very good football game. Let's go ahead and get on into the scoring, because I just want to take a look at this. So, into the scoring here, we get into that 4th quarter to tell you how crazy this game really was. And heading into the fourth quarter of this game, it is 10-14 Ferris State. Well, in the fourth quarter, Austin Williams will nail the field goal with 10:56 to go. Okay, West Florida draws within 1 point. After that, the Argos, I'm pretty sure they got the ball back somehow. It was probably some kind of turnover or a quick 3-and-out. But Austin Reed to Tate Letio, and we have Tate Letio runs in for a touchdown here. So I don't know if that was 2-point conversion. Yeah, it was 2-point conversion. And wouldn't you know it, there it is. And we now, of what was a 1-point game, is now a 7-point game with 10:01 to go in the fourth quarter. Okay, and yes, the 2-point conversion was Tate Letio, and the 2-point conversion was good. And there it is, 21-14. Well, then the Argos get the ball back after a few minutes in football time. Austin Reed to Q Randolph. Q Randolph will run for 6 yards for a touchdown, and it's now 27-14 and then Austin Williams extra point, and now it is 28-14 with 6:59 to go in the game. And wouldn't you know it, the Argos will pull this thing off with 6:59 to go. Okay, Ferris State had plenty of time to pull that to pull back the lead, or try and to get back in there and to make it closer. However, the Argos defense really held tight, and what a job, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so happy, so happy to announce that West Florida are on their way. That's right. So, big up to Shelly B in the way. We're not there yet, Shelly B. We're still in Division 2 right now. But yes, Burroughs did win the Heisman. We'll talk about that in a little bit out of LSU. But man, what a game in West Florida, or for West Florida. The Argos, y'all, the Argonauts will win this thing. This is their second trip to the NCAA Division 2 National Championship in the 4 years that they have been a program. Not just in the last 4 years, they've only been a program for 4 years. Mind you, like I told you last time, they went in 2007 in their second year, and they would lose Texas A&M Commerce in an incredibly close game. And then you see this really good game. Or last year they didn't, I don't think they made the tournament. Yeah, I don't think they made the tournament last year, but if they did, it was like one and done, or like the first 2 rounds. But regardless, they would get this thing done. And big ups to them. So the Argos, man, how about these Argos? The Argonauts will pull it off as they will defeat. Once again, I'll just kind of recap that real quick. Sorry. The Argonauts, or West Florida, will defeat Ferris State 28-14 as the Argonauts advance their second national championship. Oh my gosh. Can't even talk. I need a little drink here. Probably gonna take a break soon, but they will win they'll head to their second national championship for the first time since 2007, and is their second time in 4 years. And once again, y'all, they've only existed for 4 years as a football program. So that is awesome, right? So I'm really, really, really excited for them. And then, well, the game that I just mentioned that wasn't really all that. I mean, total domination by Minnesota State. But yes, Minnesota State, or the Mavericks, as you will defeat. What the heck do they play again? Oh, Slippery Rock. My bad, yeah. They will defeat Slippery Rock in what was, I don't know. I wish it was a little bit better, but I guess it wasn't. Like I said, they took them around the woodshed, man. Slippery Rock has destroyed this team. So we have the Mavericks of Minnesota State defeating Slippery Rock. What was that score again? It was just an ugly football game. Like, it was just bad. Really bad. But let's see here. It was, final score, it was 58-15, which is just an absolute, beating. I mean, absolute beating, but what more can you say about that? And, they will move on to the national championship, on to the Division II national championship. So congratulations to that team. Sorry. They were able to really make something happen this season. And they've been a dominant team all year long. Once again, taking a look here at Minnesota State. They are 13-0 on the season. I mean, they're just a really good, tough school, guys. When it comes down to it, they were able to win, a great game. And, well, that's what happens. You get a great team in there, and a team who really, I think, just had that belief, because I really thought Slippery Rock was going to go. That's no diss on Minnesota State. But once again, I just really thought Slippery Rock, they had to have tons of athletes. Those guys were putting up all kinds of numbers. But it goes to show you, it doesn't matter. It's any given day. And just big ups to Minnesota State for pulling this thing off. I mean, for beating down Slippery Rock the way that they did. Absolute beating. And something that, to take a look at when going into the national championship. So, okay, so my prediction for the national championship, I'm going with my heart in this one because I can't not go with my heart in this game. I really can't. I am on the West Florida wagon. I am not leaving. I am going to stay with this team. I have become a fan of this team, and I am so proud of them. I am so proud of this team and what they have done. And there's nothing else that says it. I am so proud of this team here. So, really excited. I want to take, I think Minnesota State's not going to make it easy, but I am definitely going to go with West Florida to win this thing. That's right, y'all. I'm going with West Florida. I think West Florida will win this game. I'm going to go final score 21-17, an incredibly close game. I think it might be a little defense. I don't know, maybe not. I'm just kind of wishful thinking because I love defense. But, I've got to go with, I have to go with West Florida. I mean, they've come too far. Second time in 4 years, as I mentioned. This is only their fourth year of existence as a team, as a program. So I just got to go with this team. The story is just too good to not take. It really is. I have to go with this team. So, with that said, that is it for Division 2, and those are my thoughts. Oh, Shelly B back in the chat room here. Let's take a look at it here. What she got to say? Yeah, absolutely. Burroughs is a freaking machine. So we'll talk about him, like I said, coming up in a little bit here. But yeah, y'all, I am definitely excited for this Division 2 National Championship coming up here. I'm taking West Florida to win this. Let's go Argos! But it's definitely not going to be an easy game. So anyway, as you heard me coughing earlier, I need a freaking drink, getting a little dry here. So I'm gonna take myself a short break. And when I get back, it is time to talk a little FCS playoffs. As I mentioned, we got North Dakota State getting really tested in a field goal game, And, James Madison, can they do it again? Can they get in this time? Can they go to the national championship and knock off North Dakota State as they did in the semifinals a couple years ago in 2016? Or will they get stomped on like they did last year or 2 years ago in the national championship versus North Dakota State? We got that coming up as well as a look here at the other side. Well, those two schools. Will it be another repeat? Will we get North Dakota State and North Dakota State and James Madison? Will this happen again? Will we get another repeat of these two teams going head-to-head? Or will Montana State pull off quite the upset and Weber State? Or will one of those schools pull off? Will Montana State pull off quite the upset? And will Weber State pull off quite the upset? Or will both these teams pull off the upset? Or will neither of them succeed? We will talk about that in this side of this break. And then, of course, talk about, the Heisman Trophy winner, Joe Burrow, who I think is absolutely deserving of that trophy. And then we'll get into bowl season. Taryn and I already made our picks last week, but I'll go ahead and give you a brief recap of my picks for this week. And, that is it. On to bowl season, and everything gets going on Friday. So, with that said, hang tight, y'all. We'll be right back in a few minutes, and we'll be talking, of course, more college football. You are tuned in live to 3 and Out College Edition right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
NBA college basketball fans out there, tired of hearing about just the dramatic stuff in the basketball world, tired of hearing about what such and such reward tonight, and not about the game? Hey, leave all of that alone. Because on Wednesday nights, I got this show called Fast Break with Phil Jones here on the IE Sports Radio. And all we talk about is straight basketball, from where it comes down to the NBA, the NCAA, and even the WNBA. I don't discriminate. I give all my NBA, my basketball, whatever you want with sports, to the slam dunks, to the three-pointers, to the teardrops, to the game winners. I'm there. I'm speaking about it. I have a debate. I have my panel. I got a squad that rolls in, and we're going to be talking mad sports. We're going to be talking about the Lakers. We're going to be talking about even the Brooklyn Nets. We're going to be talking about who's the top team out there in the NBA. So, tie all the drama, tie all the... What did he wear today? What kind of shoes he had? Forget all that. Just come over. Listen to Fast Break with Phil Jones here on IE Sports Radio every Wednesday night, 8 Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time, y'all. So, yo, tune in.
Were you listening to a great game on USRN, but then the Wi-Fi crashed in the final seconds? Or do you simply want to listen to the best calls we here at USRN have to offer? Well then, you need to go check out our Audio Boom page. It holds a collection of our best calls that you don't want to miss. How do I get there, you ask? You can download the Audio Boom app and look up Ultimate Sports Radio, or simply go to audiobook.com/Ultimate Sports Radio. And as always, thanks for listening and making USRN one of the most talked about sports networks on Mixler.com.
Soccer Scoreboard Show with your host, Gabriel Montoya. This is the show for soccer, football fans, or whatever you call the beautiful game. Every week, I tackle the latest and greatest news from around the soccer world, from the English Premier League to the World Cup to MLS, Liga MX, and more. You can listen to the Soccer Scoreboard Show and our lineup of fantastic guests every Friday at noon here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Attention, all sports fans! If you're someone who wakes up each morning with lists of sporting events to go along with your to-do list for the day, then you just might be a diehard. The world of sports is as vast as the ocean is deep, including the major leagues, the minor leagues, the colleges, and everything in between. This is me, your boy Larry B of IE Sports Radio, welcoming you to join me every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on The Defining Moment, a show that focuses on what really matters in the sports world, sports themselves, and nothing outside of them. Once again, tune in for The Defining Moment with me, your boy Larry B, every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on IE Sports Radio, right here on Spreaker.com. We'll see you there.
Hey guys, it's Blake Henley, better known as H-Town Blake to some of you. Happy to announce that Bases Loaded is back in full force. We'll be bringing that high heat every Tuesday night here on IE Sports Radio. So come home, get ready, dig into that batter's box, and see if you can chase that high heat, baby. So we'll be coming to you live with all the stats, all the rundowns, all the division rivalries, and every team that's going to make the playoff push to get to that one and only October and get to the pinnacle of what baseball is, to hoist that Commissioner's Trophy when it's all said and done.
What's going on, football fans? This is me, your boy Larry B, inviting you to join myself, Colin Reynolds, Mike Pat, and John Felipe for one of the most electrifying football shows you have ever heard. 3 and Out, right here at IE Sports Radio. Recap of the week before, a preview of what's to come, and of course, 3 hardcore head-to-head prime-time face-offs each week. You don't want to miss it.
Hi, I'm Brian McLaughlin. In the National Football League, there are approximately 17 million total fans.
I'm Andrew Guzman. My Dallas Cowboys make up almost 9 million of those fans.
And my Seahawks have a very loyal fan base of around 4 million.
That's more than 3/4 of all the fans.
That's absolutely correct, Andrew. And on the Common Ground Football Podcast, we'll be talking about the good, bad, and ugly of these teams.
We'll have weekly picks, discuss transactions, injuries.
And we'll chat about the rest of the league, too.
Blake freaking Bortles?
Oh, yes. And Captain Andrew Luck.
Excellent. What about Fitzmagic?
Oh, let's not get carried away now.
Oh, all right then.
Join us each week at commongroundfootballpodcast.com or wherever you get your podcast.
It's going to be
awesome.
Hey, what's up, sports fans? You're looking for a different type of sports talk show, something you haven't heard before? You got to check out the BS3 Sports Show every other Saturday on 2 Live Stews Radio, 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern. Sports talk at its finest. Always have great guests, playing some good hip-hop. You don't want to miss it. Make sure to tune in to the BS3 Sports Show every other Saturday at 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern.
Make sure to do that. That is a great show. That is an absolutely great show, man. Ben Sutter III has done great things. BS3 Radio is now a thing. They talk life, they talk sports, they talk all kinds of awesome stuff over there. So I got to tune in more often to that. But y'all got to check that out as well over on BS3 Radio. BS3 Sports got a big, got to show love always to Ben, man. He's the man. He helped me out get on Spreaker. He helped me out with a lot of stuff, man. So great job, man, by Mr. Ben Sutter III. And let's go check him out and the X Squad. Amazing job by this guy and what he's been able to do through podcasting. So I'm happy to call him a friend, man. He's a great guy. So Taryn, oh boy. So Taryn gets jumped in the chat room and said something hilarious that I don't even want to read, but well, here we go. So Taryn says, I hate to tell you all this, but people in fantasy football are starting Antonio Brown. Still, there's been a running joke yet, like something serious, all this entire show. I mean, throughout like every show with Taryn. And it's kind of funny. Every show we've been together, Heath makes sure to throw that in, like right at the end. But it's funny. Like, he says, to the 0.2% of starting Antonio Brown, you are doing this because A, you're a diehard. You're a diehard Antonio Brown fan. B, you're doing that to troll people. C, you didn't make the finals, playoffs, or think you're fantasy. Or of your fantasy league. D, you still think he's in the NFL and you're not paying attention to the news. Or E, you lost a bet. Either way, you're a clown. That's cold-blooded, man. I just think people started them and just like me, I just knew like, okay, I'm not gonna have that best of a year. And I haven't checked my fantasy all year long. Like I don't even care. Like it is what it is. I paid money in one of those leagues and I lost, whatever. But I haven't paid attention like since week 2, so I think it's just people that forgot all about fantasy and they're like, yeah, it's not my year, I don't even care, so whatever. But I don't know, maybe not, I don't know. But anyway, so let's go ahead and get on into the FCS playoffs. We are 1 hour away, by the way, of getting on into what's going to be an absolutely awesome show, by the way. Lake Effect Sports coming up with Miss ABC of D, as well as Mr. Mike Wolves. We are wolves. We are all wolves. So great people there. The husband and wife duo of IE Sports Radio. They will be debuting their newest show, Lake Effect Sports, and it's gonna be pretty cool because it's a part of our regional series. We had last Wednesday Mr. Brandon Buckingham and Mr. Matt Hames debuting their show. debuting their show, the Wild West Sports Podcast, covering all the West. Then on Sunday of this past week, we had Mr. Dentarius Locke and Mr. Davidson Crooks debuting their show, the Locke and Crooks Southern Sports Podcast. Well, wouldn't you know, it's a Southern Sports Podcast, talking all sports over there in the South. Also, and then tonight, we will have the inaugural episode of Lake Effect Sports with Miss ABC of D and Mr. Mike. And they'll be talking, of course, all West Coast and Northeast. And, of course, as you know, Brandon and Matt will be back tomorrow to talk about West and Northwest sports and Southwest, pretty much everything in the West. And then on Friday, we will have the debut. I believe it'll be at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. The debut of the Last Call Sports Podcast. And those two guys, they're actually inspired the entire concept and the entire idea of the regional podcast, because they were like, well, we can get a take on the Midwest. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is awesome. Like, because they were like, yeah, well, it seems to get guys everywhere, people everywhere, but not the Midwest. And I was like, when they said they can get a Midwest view, I was like, okay, I want to run with the idea. And eventually, originally I wanted to go with a Northwest and then a West show, but then I was like, if we go Northwest, it's only going to be a couple states. It's only going to be like Cascadia, Seattle and Portland, basically, and a couple colleges, basically. So I just figured to combine the West all together, and it works because it's an even number. They're all 4 sports shows, 4 different regions of the USA. So really exciting. So once again, we have Mr. Luke Frink and Mr. Daniel Clardy with the Last Call Sports Podcast coming up on Friday, and then we'll have that'll be the inaugural episode of the Last Call Sports Podcast coming up on Friday. Really excited for that, and then our entire regional series will be coming up. They'll be coming on up. And the entire regional series will be underway. And yeah, that will be that. So anyway, I'm really excited. I just talked to Mike right now in the little chat room with all of us, and he said he's nervous as crap. He's like, yeah, we're ready. I told him, are y'all ready? So I'm excited. I'm gonna try and get him on the show right now. See if we can get him on here. But anyway, so with that said, let's go ahead and get on in to the final. Well, basically, to the quick. We're gonna just go quick and dirty. I'm not gonna go too in depth with this. Number 1, North Dakota State, as I said. 3 field goals, incredible for them. Incredible for Illinois State to bring in, to hold these guys at 3 field goals. We have North Dakota State at 9 with 9 points, and then Illinois State with 3. Incredible game, okay? 9-3 final score. The Bison will yet again, they will advance to the national championship. What a game! That is huge, man. They will knock off a very good Illinois State team, apparently, because hey, like I said, for them to only hold them to 9 points and then for them to score 3 of their own, even on that is awesome. So anyway, with that said, we have that first score there, or that first game in the top left-hand bracket. Then the bottom left-hand bracket, Montana State this year, man. I can't get enough of the school, okay? The Bobcats, as I mentioned, Mr. Gum and Mr. Williamson, okay? Mr. Gum graduated from Montana State, and Mr. Williamson graduated from Montana State, and I thought it was awesome because there were 2 teachers. Mr. Gum was my teacher, but I knew Mr. Williamson back in high school, back in Paris High, about 12, 13 years ago, almost 13 years ago, and it's super cool because those two would always argue about those 2 schools, and then I started getting into college football later on and realized they were FCS schools, and I love it, but this rivalry is real. It's awesome, and in the last week of the regular season, Montana State blew out Montana in their rivalry game, and after that, it's not like they just suddenly got great after that. They were amazing. They were good all season. Well, they have gotten their way through the tournament, and they'll defeat Austin Peay 24-10. Hopefully I didn't butcher that name, but they will defeat. They'll win that game 24-10 in advance, and they will be taking on the number 1 seeded North Dakota State Bison, and Montana State is the 5th seeded Montana State Bobcats. Okay, on the other side, in the top right bracket, Number 2, the number 2 overall seed, James Madison, will defeat UNI, the University of Northern Iowa Panthers, 17-0, as they will move on to the semifinal to take on the number 3 seeded Weber State Wildcats, as I think they're the Wildcats. They will defeat number 6 Montana, the Grizzlies, the team that made it pretty far as well. Hey, they almost, I mean, imagine if they would have both gotten, that would have been awesome to see Montana get to the semifinal, and then somehow Montana defeats James Madison and Montana State defeats North Dakota State, and we have that Montana battle in the championship. That would be awesome, but it's not happening this year. Close, but no cigar. Number 3 Weber State will defeat the number 3 seeded Weber State Wildcats will defeat the number 6 seeded Montana Grizzlies 17-10, and they will go on to face the number 2 seeded James Madison Dukes. So those games are coming up this weekend, by the way. Oh, and I just want to go ahead and throw those out there real quick too. In the number 2, for the national championships, that is. Okay, so for national championship, for the Division 2 national championship, that'll be, I already mentioned, the Division 3 national championship will be on Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And once again, that is North Central taking on Wisconsin and Whitewater in the Stag Bowl. Then we have on Saturday at noon Pacific time, so 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time, West Florida taking on Minnesota State in the Division 2 national championship. Then those 2 games, of course, these 2 games that we have, the semifinals, one of them, we have number 1 North Dakota State taking on, let's see here, once again, it is number 1 North Dakota State taking on number 5 Montana State at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time, and then we have, of course, later on that day, 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, number 2 James Madison taking on number 3 Weber State. And the champions will do battle. My prediction, or the winners of those games will do battle. Would I love to see Montana State win this game? Absolutely. Will North Dakota State more than likely win? Yeah, because they're the Alabama. Whoops, they're not in the college football playoff this year. Wait, they're the Mount Union. Oh, they're not in the Stag Bowl this year. I'm just kidding. But they're one of the dominant teams of the FCS division, and I don't think North Dakota State's not going to go this year. So I have North Dakota State winning 31-14. Actually, I'm going to go with North Dakota State winning 31-10. Or 35-10. I would love to see Montana State win this game, but I just think North Dakota State's going to win pretty big. And then I think it's going to be a close game here, but personally, I really think that Weber State's going to give a good fight, but I'm going to go James Madison winning this game 24-21, actually 24-17. And I'm going to go James Madison taking on North Dakota State in a really good game in the FCS playoffs. I would love it. Don't get me wrong, okay? I think it would be awesome to see Montana State get the upset and Weber State get the upset, or one of them get the upset. But I just think, yeah, it's the number 1 seed versus number 2 seed again. And as I mentioned, if it wouldn't be in 2016, if it wouldn't have been for James Madison knocking off the bicep of North Dakota State in 2016, they probably would have won like 8 or 9 straight. But there was a break in the chain somewhere. They went from 2010 all the way to 2015. And then they lost 2016. James Madison went on, defeated North Dakota State in the semifinal. Then they would go on and defeat, I forgot who they played in the championship, but they won that year. And then after that, well, North Dakota State will then defeat James Madison the year after that, and then I forgot who they beat last year. But it might have been them 2 years in a row. I don't know. But regardless, North Dakota's going for 3 years straight, and like their 7th or 8th, I think. But it would have been like 9 in a row if it wouldn't have been for James Madison in 2016 in the semifinal. Anyway, with that said, that is that for the FCS college football playoffs. And here to join me for bowl season, which, as I mentioned, Taryn and I already made our picks last week, but I'm just going to skim through it right now. And I thought it'd be fun to add just to add to their podcast experience, might I say. I just mentioned them just a little bit ago. We got back from break, and you know what? This is pretty freaking sweet. And I get to have them here on air. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Pretty exciting, right? Ladies and gentlemen, they are 50 minutes away from the debut, or we shall say, the inaugural episode of Lake Effect Sports here on IE Sports Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so happy to bring these two on, or I don't know if we got one or both, or I don't know, we might have 50% of them, I don't know, but we might have both, I don't know. All I know is well, one of them or both of them are here to join me to talk a little bowl season and a little Heisman. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to announce once again the two of the newest, because we have like 7 new out of all 8 of the new. Out of all 4 of the new shows, there are 8 total podcasters. And well, wouldn't you know it? 2 of them are here tonight, and they're 2 of the newest. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming, of course, number 1. Well, I don't want to say number 1, but ladies first. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming, of course, the ABCs of D. And, well, there's no other way to call him but a wolf. But, ladies and gentlemen, welcoming Mr. Mike. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, the 2 newest members of IE Sports Radio and the hosts of Lake Effect Sports, D and Mike. What's going on? How y'all doing tonight? Oh, wait. Okay, one more time. I forgot to put the speaker on. Okay, here we go.
Oh, shit.
Now you're good.
Hey, what's up?
Hey!
Good evening.
I know you guys.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up?
Hey. No pressure?
No pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure. We've been practicing. It's fine.
No pressure.
It's fine.
This is your first time on
here. I'm good.
Yeah.
You excited?
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you guys are too much. Well, before we get into bowl season, I gotta ask. Come on now. This is your first podcast in under an hour. You guys are going to talk about some really cool stuff. I actually got a chance to talk about all of the California football from the north all the way to the south. Of course, our state finals are over with. You two are going to be talking about a really, really cool, unique story over there. And why not? I know what you're going to get into in your show, but it's so fitting because this is a college football show / high school. This year I put a lot of California high school in there. But you guys are over there, or you lady and gentlemen are over there in the Northeast. So go ahead. Give us a quick little tidbit or whatever you want to call it, a quick little preview of Newtown and their incredibly amazing victory.
Yeah, so the Newtown, Connecticut football team, I mean, what a story. And it was last weekend. They were in the state championships, and it's Connecticut. You know, high school football matters, but this isn't the South. You know, life doesn't revolve around football like it does in some other places. But to have that team go to the championships and then win, and just under the circumstances that they played under and on the date that they played on, everyone knows Newtown, Connecticut was where the Sandy Hook shooting took place 7 years ago. And so for that team to go in and win, and just all of the circumstances that came together and everything, it's just kind of a chilling and heartwarming story all at once. So I felt like it was really appropriate to talk about, especially on this first episode for us.
Well, I think that is awesome. I didn't even know that was over there. I had no idea that Sandy Hook was over there. Of course, rest in peace to all those people, unfortunately, who lost their lives in that terrible tragedy. And may they go with God. But I'll tell you right now, that is an incredible story, and to think that how they did it. And they won this thing on the last play of the game, correct?
The last play of the game.
Last play of the game. The clock went to zeros as they were making the play.
Yeah.
Yep. Tie game up until that point.
Oh, that is incredible. I mean, just to think of how awesome that is. And once again, y'all, this is, of course, football around the country. It's just, me, I'm a Californian, so I, center myself around about California high school football. But once again, next year I want to really open this thing up as much as possible, get around the country. I did talk about the top 25 on Max Preps, and, well, we see plenty of schools around the country. Lots of Texas schools, of course, number 1 and 2 in the country, Modern Day and St. John Bosco, which are literally, not even 40 miles, literally 20 miles apart from one another here in Southern California. But I'm just saying, in the national champions this year, St. John Bosco. But super excited for Newtown, and just so happy that this team was able to win such a great feat. I mean, how incredible is that to know that this school, that little town has gone through so much recently. In you can say within the last decade, and how neat that they were able to experience something so awesome, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, these were the siblings of some of the kids that were lost. I mean, that's crazy.
That is absolutely, God is great. That is amazing. Well, I just got to tell you right now, that is amazing. And I'm so happy that they were able to do something beautiful like that for their city and, for their town, and in honor, of course, certainly, I'm sure, in honor of those that they lost. So, with that said, we only got like 45 minutes here, and I don't know how long y'all plan to stay, but I do want to roll through bowl season really quick, because Taryn and I already gave our picks last week. There's quite a lot of bowls, but oh my gosh, this is going to be hilarious, because I like talk crap quick and dirty. I can't help it. I'm just a crap talker. Taryn says here oh my gosh, Taryn is still on the Antonio Brown thing. Oh my gosh. Taryn says what's worse is that 0.1% is starting Rob Gronkowski. He's not even eligible to return to the NFL. It boggles my mind. Okay, so just to turn you guys on to this, Taryn found this hilarious stat earlier this season on the Defining Moment, on the show that we co-host together. We also co-host the show together, but he couldn't be with us this evening. But he's in the chat room listening, and he just brought up the stat that still 0.2% of all fantasy owners are starting Antonio Brown still, and it's hilarious. I'm going to he says that they're either diehards, or they do it to troll people, or they're
not actually
playing.
That's what I said. I look, my fantasy leagues, I have 2 of them. By week 2, I officially stopped playing. I don't even care. I just walked away from it. I don't care. Yeah. So I really think that that's exactly what happened. And then he's talking about Gronkowski right now. Oh my gosh, that's funny. I think people did that too, like drafted and who cares, whatever. But and then he says, "Good evening, D and Mike. Go Bills. Go Buffalo Bills. Great win for them on Sunday, but it won't be on Saturday." I'm sorry. Anyway, what was that?
Hey, come on.
I'm sorry.
Shame.
I'm sorry. I just don't. It's Bill. It's Bill and Tom. How do you go against Bill and Tom?
I think if you get him a cheaper wheelchair, he'll probably go a little bit slower.
Wow.
Which one, Bill or Tom?
Both of them.
Wow. I'm just kidding. Well, it's going to be a hell of a game. And tomorrow, Dee's actually going to be on versus our Hall of Famer, Pete, in a primetime face-off for Saturday night's game. That should be fun. But, Pete's like the nicest dude ever. Like, he'll even tell you why his team will lose that game. Like, Pete's the coolest guy. He really is. He's not a crazy dude. But anyway, then he says, I heard about Newtown winning the state championship. That was awesome. That deserves the applause button. Absolutely! Where's my applause button? Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, Newtown winning this year the state championship of Connecticut. I don't know what division they are, but I don't even care, because they won it all, and that's all that matters. So that's so freaking sweet. That's awesome. So congratulations to them. Okay, so we have like 42 minutes. So let's really get speed through this. Okay, first things first. Is there any surprise to either of you that Joe Burrow won the Heisman? Be real.
It's no surprise to anybody, I don't think.
Nah.
The man, swept the voting.
Right. Mike, any words? No? Yeah?
I got nothing. I'm sorry, I don't follow college football. It's terrible.
Dude, that is a terrible thing.
I know. I'm an NFL guy.
Like I always tell everybody.
You follow Ohio State.
I follow Ohio State. That's pretty much it. So I'm a little bit burned.
Something, because I tell everybody this. Okay, if you don't watch college football and you're an NFL person, I always say that's like watching part 2 of every movie and never part 1.
That's true, but I work on Saturday nights, and that's when the games are.
Well, they're all Saturday, but you're absolutely right. Okay, well, hey, next year, let's see, man. I mean, now that you got your show, hey, maybe we'll dip into it a little more. We'll see. Let's see.
I'll make it happen.
I would love to. It would be awesome. So, okay. With that,
and his voting record, it shattered the record set by O.J. Simpson when he won.
You could say it murdered it.
That is called all thoughts, comments, and opinions are their own here at iSports Radio. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now we're going to make some picks. So let's have some fun with this, because I literally, oh my gosh, I've heard some funny stories of how people make their picks in bowl season or in March Madness, because people don't follow it. But I think this would be pretty funny. However, I didn't know that you two weren't super diehard college fans. I was assuming. So
I'm trying, but haven't.
I just pick Ohio State to win everything.
Yeah, he just picks Ohio State to win everything.
You know what, though? That is a great...
I have been trying, starting with the Buffalo Bulls, and they are in a bowl game this year. That's what I'm starting and branching out from there.
They're not just in a bowl game. They're in the first bowl game of bowl season.
Yes, the Bahamas Bowl. And there are... Oh, gosh, that's beautiful. They posted pictures. Oh, I want to be down there. Can we go to the Bahamas?
Yeah, let's go to the Bahamas.
And Mike's like, yeah, let me just pull out, let me just pull out of my rear end the $5,000 it's going to take. I'll do that right now.
Yeah, no problem.
Cool.
I got a credit card slot. It's fine.
Let's just go ahead and, let's go ahead and refinance the house. I'm down. Come on. Let's do this.
Right.
And Dee's like, aw.
It's the thought that counts.
Exactly. I know, right? Absolutely. Yeah, I'd be saying the same thing, Mike. I'm going to take pointers from you, dude. One day when I get married, I'm going to take pointers. I'm so down.
I've lasted this long. I got to be doing something right.
This is great. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Since you all aren't super crazy diehards, here's what we're going to do. For the next couple of minutes here, we'll go ahead and just talk about the college football playoff. And, you can give me anything you'd like to say about those games. Apparently, you're picking the Buckeyes, Mike. But I just want to hear... Yeah, why not? I mean, we'll hear a little bit about that. And then, for the next, 8 minutes or so, and then both of y'all can go ahead and bounce. That's awesome. I will get all my picks in again and just kind of give a little detailed reasoning of every single one of them. They're going to be quick and dirty. It's going to be funny. I'll take a short break, come back, listeners, and get through my picks real quick. And after that... that's it. I'll be handing the floor over to these two who will be live. You can go ahead and set up within that time. And hey, it's actually, I didn't go live till 4:01 my time, so 7:01 your time. So technically 3 hours would be 10:01 your time when you click live. However, I will be off right at, it'll be 1 minute. So the show will be 2 hours and 59 minutes. So is what it is. But you go ahead and click that live button at 10 p.m. Eastern time. I'll be off air right at that time, and the floor will be yours. So listeners, that will be the remainder of the show. We have 38 minutes left here in the show. Well, technically 37 because I'll be taking off that minute because I started a minute late. But okay, so college football playoff. So first and foremost, they will be on Saturday, December 28th, which is going to be, really awesome day. This year, they are the Peach Bowl, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, which I am absolutely obsessed with Chick-fil-A. And we have, I love Chick-fil-A. Okay, I love Chick-fil-A so much that my university CBU, they have one. I was there when they opened the doors for the first time of our Chick-fil-A on campus, and I love it to this day. So anyway.
We don't have a Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, we don't have one.
We don't have a Chick-fil-A.
I know, it's a travesty.
I am sad for you. I can mail you guys some Chick-fil-A if you want.
I just don't think the effect would be the same after it's gone through the mail.
I'll freeze and mail and send it in ice and fall out. You're totally right, though. But, oh my gosh. So, okay. And then the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl is the other game that is the college football playoff. And I do love those chips. I am a fan of those chips, Fiesta, because seriously, that chili is so delicious. It's not even authentic chili, but I don't care. It's really good.
It is good.
It is really good. The dipping with the little crown, little scoops. Oh, they're so good. Anyway, okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this little quick thing here. So 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern, we have the first game, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl coming up. Number 4, Oklahoma at 12-1. Of course, we all know Mr. Jalen Hurts made his move last year. 1 year with the team. Now it's the second year with the team, second and final year with the team. He'll be probably going to the NFL this year, taking on that number 1 LSU Tigers defense, and we'll take it on the number 1 LSU Tigers. I don't know if they're number 1 in defense, but I know they're number 1 overall. They are favored by 14 points in this game. Both games will be back-to-back on ESPN, and I just don't see this game going any other way than the Heisman winner's way, LSU, because of course he's a part of the team. Nothing about Jalen. Okay, nothing bad about Jalen. Jalen Hurts is an amazing player, but I just feel like overall LSU just is the more complete team. They're a tough team. There is plenty on that team that goes to show you how dominant they really are. Do I believe they were actually number 1? I'll give you my thoughts in a few minutes. But We'll start with D, then go to Mike. Give me your thoughts and pick a winner.
So I'm going with LSU as well, mostly because I'm doing it for Tre'Davious White. Wow. That's his
for
school.
Sure, for sure.
And
lots of LSU blood.
And so there's a lot of love for LSU because they gave him to us up here in Buffalo, and also because they've just been dominant, and I don't see any way that they lose this one unless they're partying a little too hard or something. Wow. I mean, they're 13-0.
That's what college is for.
Oklahoma, nothing to sneeze at either. 12-1 for the season, but LSU was 13-0 for a reason. I mean, Heisman Trophy winner by a landslide for a reason. Defense is stellar, and so I'm going with LSU as well.
I totally agree. Mike, would you care to give your somewhat thoughts?
Listen, I'm going LSU just because, and this is the only reason, because they gave me Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham Jr. What else do I need to say?
They did. They gave you Jarvis and Odell, but does Odell want to still be there? I heard about that.
I think I'm going to talk about that on my show.
Oh, I'm excited for the show. I'm excited for the show. Anyway, so Taryn in the chat room says some college football games are on Friday, but still not following college football. Mike, come on, man.
I'm sorry.
Oh, this is great. I love this. This is awesome.
It doesn't help that neither of us attended a big football school. The Bonnies don't even have a basketball team or a football team. Yeah, we definitely have a basketball team. We haven't had football since like the 60s, so when we were the Brown Indians, which is not a kosher name anymore. So
the Bonnies. That's just the coolest name ever. The Bonnies. I'm gonna say it's cool, but I understand. Hey, you guys have Khalil Mack with the Bulls, so that's something.
Yeah, I just wish he was, still in Buffalo.
I think all Buffalo wishes he was still in Buffalo.
Because we definitely could have had him. He was there. We traded up. We picked Sammy freaking Watkins, okay?
That worked out well. I wonder how his foot is.
Did you say you wonder where his foot is?
I wonder how his foot is. Because it was always hurt.
Oh, you're cold-blooded. You're cold. Okay, so I want to tell a quick story here. I've even told some of the young men I coach in high school at my alma mater, where I'm currently coaching right now. I told them a funny story. Well, it's not funny, but I told them a story about Khalil Mack. So back before they stripped NCAA away from all of us diehard NCAA fans who were basically the only reason why we would ever play video games was because of that awesome franchise that, once again, they took away because of the likeness thing and all that crap. But anyway, 2014, or it might have been 13. 14 was the last year they made it, but it might have been 13 to 14. But regardless, in the likeness, the player that was made in the likeness of Khalil Mack when he was a middle linebacker at Buffalo, his overall rating was a 46 overall.
Ooh.
If you guys know anything, of course, about video games and stuff like that. I'm not trying to say you guys don't, but I'm saying if you guys knew. Overall ratings, of course, is a big thing. And, well, they gave him an overall rating of 46. So Khalil Mack, in his senior year, changed his number to 46 and then had one of the best seasons ever. Okay?
That's epic.
Yes. And then he goes and gets drafted very early on by the Raiders, and he wore 46 to be like, yeah, right here, ratings people, F you. Like, pretty much screw you.
Right.
Cool, right?
That's fantastic.
I mean, why not, right? So, that's a really cool story. But, okay, so anyway, and then, of course, Ohio State, number 2 Ohio State, will take on number 3 Clemson. Both teams are 13-0. The only team with one loss in this entire playoff, this entire college football playoff, is Oklahoma, and, well, they will be going head-to-head at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and Ohio State. Actually, Clemson is favored by 2 points in this game. Mike, you want to start this one?
I gotta go with Ohio State. Everything about Ohio State screams I need to win. Clemson's good, but they've been good. Ohio State's always good.
You're absolutely right. Ohio State, they've won national championship, 2015? I mean, incredibly tough school, incredibly tough players, incredibly tough team, and just an awesome fan base. My barber she graduated from the barber school of Ohio State. She's a big old Buckeyes fan. I love that dude, the big net, who... It's hilarious. I know, the name is hilarious. The guy is so freaking, like, he's a big old dude. And it's funny because, like, I saw that sign one time that says, "We're nuts." And it's funny because it's true. Like, Buckeyes. Like, my barber even has, like, one at her house. Like, and she's like, she's like, actually, we call these things worthless nuts. Like,
I have one hanging up in my office, actually. I have a Lucky Ohio State Buckeye hanging in my office.
oh, my.
I was given it by an older couple from Ohio, big Ohio State fans. They gave it to me several years ago.
Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome. I like that. That is a cool story. She even tells me, too, like, for Christmas, I don't know if she's doing it this year, but a big shout out to Susie Phelps, by the way, and Mike Phelps, and Michael Phelps, and Mark. You guys are all awesome. Great people. So, anyway, but yeah, it's kind of funny because she's like, yeah, well, not funny, but I guess they make Buckeyes over there, like, for Christmas time or something like that. Like, they're basically like these gigantic chocolate balls with peanut butter in the middle, which sounds delicious.
Yes, my mom makes them. They're amazing.
I've never had that, but it sounds like the ultimate Reese's peanut butter cup.
Yes, they're so good.
Oh my gosh, that sounds delicious. So, okay, I am to going Ohio State. I think LSU will beat Oklahoma 42-21. Don't ask. I just think LSU is that much better. And I honestly think Ohio State and Clemson are going to have a pretty good game, but really, everyone's going to dwell on Clemson, on Ohio State being down early to Wisconsin, but I honestly think that's because Wisconsin's actually, I mean, not saying that Clemson is not a good team, but, I mean, come on now. Big Ten, these two teams know each other. It's just, I just have this, Ohio State might have been a little off. I don't know. I guess I'm trying to make excuses. Okay, I am trying to make excuses. Regardless, I guess think Ohio State's a better team. I think they'll win this one 24-14. I have Ohio State winning this game. So, then, if they were to go head-to-head in the final, Mike, I know where you're going, and I have a big feeling I know where you're going too, D, but that would be LSU taking on Ohio State. I'm not going to pick that game yet, but, of course, you're both going with Ohio State, and why is that?
I think it's going to be a tough game, to be honest. LSU's on fire right now. Ohio State's on fire right now. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be.
I actually think LSU win.
I almost have to lean towards them. I love Ohio State. I do, just because of my Browns roots, but LSU's really freaking good.
Wait, did you just say she's going to go with LSU?
Yeah, she did.
Yes, I did.
Because they're purple, huh?
Purple's not my favorite color.
No, it's actually mine.
It's Mike's favorite color. It's not mine. But there aren't any college football teams.
That's from that Lake Show, though. That's from that Lake Show.
The Lake Show, baby. That's right. All day. Yeah, absolutely. But did I just hear D say because there's no teams that wear pink?
Yes. I mean, there are lots of teams that wear pink in October. Accessories and such. Cleats and gloves and mouth guards.
Oh, wow. Oh,
I got no words for her. I got nothing.
This is hilarious. I mean, you guys are cracking me up. So, wow. So, okay. Wow. So then you two are going opposites. D's actually going to take LSU, and Mike's like, screw that. Cleveland. Well, not Cleveland, but, I mean, yeah, Cleveland, but poor Cleveland. Anyway, but Ohio all day.
Right? God damn it.
We have some mad love for Ohio in this household.
We really do.
We do.
Bengals, what?
Yeah, no. not the Bengals.
I'll tell you what though. Out of all the teams in the Browns division, the Bengals are like the one I hate the least.
I mean, that doesn't say a whole lot because.
And I'm a Bills fan, so we love the Bengals because they got us into the playoffs.
When she says we,
ago.
She means her. It has nothing to do with.
Yeah, no, Bills
fans. It has
fans.
nothing to do with me.
Bills fans as a collective.
Your people.
My people, my mafia.
I don't love the Bengals.
We love the Bengals, and Andy Dalton specifically.
Just keep me out of that bubble. I don't hate them, but I don't love them. Not even a little bit.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to get a whole bunch of this in about 26 minutes.
Yeah, it's happening.
This show is going to be magic, and I am so happy that I was able to. I'm happy that we were able to get you guys both on here. A part of this. I am so happy about this. So, with that said, okay, well, the predictions are in. Dee's going to take LSU, and Mike's taking Ohio State. I myself am going to take. Yeah, I'll give that.
It's a tough one.
I'll give that when it comes time. If it were to go that way. If right now, my actual thoughts, if it were to go that way, I would take Ohio State over LSU. However, it would be an incredibly close game, and that's not even the way it is yet. We don't know. Oklahoma or Clemson or both may just come out with not really upsets, but they just might get the victories. Who knows? So we shall see. But with that said, okay, well, we got a couple minutes here. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take a break in a few minutes, but before we do that, and then I'll come back and get my picks. You two, of course, will send y'all off this way. So, for the listeners listening right now, really anticipating your show, because I really am anticipating your show, and I'm not even a listener, I'm hosting this gosh darn show, and I'm really, waiting for your show, give us a little preview of tonight's first, or the inaugural episode of Lake Effect Sports.
Okay, I'll just go down our rundown real quick. So, we're going to talk about Freddie Kitchens. We're going to talk about Adam Gase. We're going to talk about if Mike Tomlin is in fact a genie. We're obviously going to talk about the Buffalo Bills because, playoffs. We're going to talk about how depressing the Browns are.
I'm sorry.
We got a little tidbit about Eli Manning. We're going to talk about Odell. Oh my God. We're going to talk about the Buffalo Bills revenge tour and then get into some playoff previews and Pro Bowl.
Bills Pats preview, Pro Bowl.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Yep.
This is going to be awesome.
And we'll let you know what we had for dinner.
That's true. That's true. But we're not letting that out on this one.
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, then I guess I'll have to find that one out on the next show.
That's right. That's right.
I'm excited for this because dinner's always amazing, but it's awesome because, you're going to discuss that, and now you're, building up this, what do they have? That's the funniest thing. What the hell?
That's true. Everyone's mouth should be watering.
Oh my gosh. This is too funny. Y'all are going to be hilarious. I'm looking forward to this. I'm telling you, this is going to be a great show. And like I said, you guys are the third of the entire regional series. After you will hand the baton off to Last Call Sports, which those guys will be live on Friday evening. And then all four of our regional shows will have gotten underway. And I am just loving this idea. Big ups to Luke Frank and Daniel Clardy for getting us going, getting me going with the idea, and I just kind of ran with it, so thanks, guys, for having the original idea. And then I just was like, oh my gosh, this could be something. So, yeah, I thought this would be an amazing show, and an amazing series, and all of you are going to be great. I'm really excited for that. You two are going to be amazing. This is going to be a great show, talking to all East Coast, and of course, at least the upper part of the East Coast, and then of course the Northeast. So looking forward to that, and there you have it. So with that said, time to take ourselves a little bit of a break here, and like I said, bid a farewell to these two for this show for tonight, that is, but they'll be back at you in about 20 minutes. So with that said, any last words, D and Mike?
See you in 20 minutes.
Yep, we'll be here.
And then we will see y'all then. So with that said, hang on real quick, y'all. We'll say our goodbyes in the break. But with that said, that will do it. I'm going to take myself a short break. We got 20 minutes left. Well, actually 21-ish, around there. Because once again, I have that 1 minute. I'll come back, give my hilariously sarcastic picks along for every bowl game coming up within that time. And then, we're going to hand the mic on over for the first time. The mics, if you will, on over for the first time to Ms. D and Mr. Mike in all four Lake Effect Sports. With that said, you're listening to 3 and Out right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, hear me and hear me good. If you like sports, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like comedy, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like a different opinion coming from a different angle, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. So join me Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with your host, Jelani J.B. Bodie. And of course, my man Lopan on the WaitAMinuteShow.com. Ain't that right, Lopan?
Hi everybody, it's Calvin here from USRN, here to give you an important message. Since 2017, we have done our absolute best to provide you with nothing but the highest quality of sports calls in the greatest of quantity possible. Thanks to you, our station has grown more than we ever thought. That's why, with your help, we would like to grow even further. Just think, twice the amount of your favorite calls, 24 hours of coverage, talk shows, play-by-play, game-by-game analysis, and so much more. That's right, USRN2 is officially in development, but we can't do it alone. We have set up a GoFundMe page that you can access from our homepage on the left of your screen. We also are planning special giveaways and prizes to our highest donors. Our goal here at USRN is to bring you the best calls possible at no cost to you. In order to continue to do that, we need your help now. Please check out our GoFundMe page, and if you would like to know how you can help, you can email usrnradio@gmail.com. Without your support, we couldn't do what we do.
Lopan, they didn't even want you. Heck, they didn't even want me. But you know what? Right about now, they have no choice. Looking for the real sports talk? Talk that's for us, the people? Look no further. The Wait a Minute Show, a prime time sports comedy cocktail that tucks you in at night. Join me and Lopan Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 2livestewsradio.com and Saturday 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the waitaminuteshow.com. Sounds like a plan to me. Ain't that right, Lopan?
Indeed.
Hey, what's up, BS3 sports fans? If you love listening to the BS3 Sports Show, check out the weekend wrap-up every Monday at 12:15 Central Time, 1:15 Eastern, recapping the weekend in sports like you never heard it before. Comedy, interactive chat room, it's a must-listen. Weekend wrap-up on Spreaker.com, part of the X Squad. Check it out. You won't be disappointed.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Vince Wright, the sports governor from the great state of Minnesota, and I want to thank you for listening to Sports Done Right. Make sure you're checking us out on all of our platforms, whether it's Spreaker.com, XSquadAffiliates.com. We're also heard on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, so keep it tuned here. More great things coming from Sports Done Right.
Hey USRN fans, do you have a product or company you're trying to promote? Look no further. USRN is teaming up with small local businesses trying to establish themselves via online promotion. Let us know if you're interested. Email us at usrnradio@gmail.com to learn more.
Here comes the pitch, and it comes in wide.
On the BS3 Sports Show.
Welcome to the BS3 Sports Podcast. We hope your experience with us is amazing. Sports talk, comedy, social issues, and more. BS3 is the best source. Can you dig it, you sucker?
Do you love college football? And do you want to hear a college football show dedicated to all that is college football, including junior college and the CCCAA and the NJCAA, the NAIA,
and the NCAA, including Division III, Division II, Division I AA in the FCS, and Division I Single A in the FBS, well then look no further. Join myself, Larry B., and my colleagues, Mr. H-Town Blake Henley, and Mr. Christian Espinoza, each week during the college football season for the latest in college football on 3 and Out College Edition, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
From the home plate to the nets, the end zone to the finish line, here nothing is off limits and no sport is safe. Not what it seems with your host Caitlin Seam, bringing you sports like you've never heard before. Catch me Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, right here on IE Sports Radio. The only question is, are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your man Jelani JB Bodie, host of this thing called The Wait a Minute Show, and it is time. Time for the 2019 Wait a Minute Show Toy Drive. The Wait a Minute Show, along with X Squad Radio Network, is raising money for kids of the nonprofit organization Helping Hands of Paulding County to buy toys for children of all ages. Last year, we helped 80 kids. This year, we're shooting for 100. You can donate 3 ways. Go to thewaitaminuteshow.com, click on the GoFundMe button, or you can do the PayPal or Cash App button and type in thewaitaminuteshow@gmail.com to donate and help make a kid's holiday season. The Wait a Minute Show Toy Drive, putting smiles on kids' faces since 2014.
That's right, y'all. Jelani JB Bodie. My bad, didn't mean to cut you off there, Lopan. And Jelani. But I'm just saying. The real deal, y'all. Donate if you can. Jelani just told me actually in a text earlier that the toy drive will end on Thursday, so do your best to get that in by Thursday. And yeah, man, great guy, great cause, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited to finally donate this year. And if y'all need, y'all trust me, show love. Great cause. So anyway, let's go ahead and get through these quick picks. Of course, Taryn and I, like I said, already made our picks last week, but I'm just gonna have some fun with it and do it again just because. So Friday, starting things off in the Bahamas Bowl. Guess what? Buffalo and Charlotte. It's gonna be a great game. Who did I take? I took Buffalo all day. Why? Because they're favored by 6.5 points. Why not? Anyway, Utah State. The Aggies taking on Kent State. I went Utah State in this one. Why? They're favored by 4.5 points. They won one more game. And the Aggies. They're just the Aggies. So Frisco Bowl all day long. I'm going to go with Utah State. Why? I guess because. On to Saturday, we have here, well, this coming Saturday, we have the New Mexico Bowl. San Diego State all day. That's right, y'all. Aztecs over the Chippewas. It's because they're awesome. They're actually favored by 3.5 points. Then we have Liberty taking on Georgia Southern in the Cure Bowl. I'm going to be taking Georgia Southern. They're just, I think, more battle tested in that really tough division of the really tough conference of the Sun Belt. Then we have the Sun Belt League, that is. Sun Belt Conference, sorry. Then we have SMU at 10-2, FAU at 10-3 in the Boca Raton Bowl. I am going to take FAU. Why? One last hoorah for Lane Kiffin. I think they'll get this thing done. Oh, well, one last hoorah for Lane Kiffin. That is in the Conference USA. And then he'll be off to the SEC. Then we have Florida International, FIU, taking on Arkansas State. I'm taking the Red Foxes in the Camilla Bowl. They're favored by 2.5 points. Then we have number 19, Boise State taking on Washington in the Las Vegas Bowl. Washington's favored by 3.5 points. I honestly think Boise State's going to win this thing. Why? Because you know what? They have battle tested all year long. Washington hadn't even had that great of a year. That's disrespectful, man. That is very disrespectful. They have 5 more wins, and you can't give these guys at least a little teeny bit of respect and give them the favor by a little bit, even by 1.5. I'm taking Boise State all day long. Appalachian State. Number 20, Appalachian State taking on UAB. Appalachian State at 12-1. UAB is at 9-4. Appalachian State is favored by 16.5 points in the RNL Carriers New Orleans Bowl. I'm taking the Mountaineers and win this thing all day long. On to Monday, we have the Gasparilla Bowl, the Bad Boys Mowers Gasparilla Bowl. UCF at 9-3 and Marshall at 8-4. I hate to not. I mean, it'd be cool to see the Thunder and Herd win this game, but I'm just going to go Knights all day on this one. Why? Because I just think they're a better team. Next up here on Christmas Eve, the SoFi Hawaii Bowl. We have BYU making their way on over to Hawaii to take on the Rainbow Warriors. It's a home game for Hawaii, but I do think BYU is going to win this one just slightly. It's going to be a great game. BYU is actually favored by 1.5. I'm taking them. On to Thursday, the day after Christmas. We have La Tech at 9-3 taking on Miami at 6-6. They have Miami favored at by 6 points, and I hate to Miami definitely isn't that great of a team. La Tech, I think, probably even maybe a little bit better. Regardless of the conference they play in, I understand the SEC is a little bit tougher. I'm just going to take Miami in this game. It'll be a close game in the Independence Bowl. I'm taking Miami. Pittsburgh at 7-5. Eastern Michigan at 6-6. In the Quick Lane Bowl, 10.5. Pittsburgh is favored by 10.5 points. Guess what? I'm taking Pittsburgh because, well, that's enough right there to say. Anyway. Then we have here, this is at the top of the list on this day for me, on Friday the 27th, because it's my team. But USC, number 22, USC, taking on number 16, Iowa. USC's at 8-4, Iowa's at 9-3. I'm going to be a homer all day. Iowa's actually favored by 2 points. I don't really care. USC fight on all day long. We're going to win this. Let's go USC. Next up, North Carolina at 6-6. Temple at 8-4. The UNC is favored by 5 points in the Military Bowl, presented by Northrop Grumman, and I am got to take in a really good game here. I'm going to take Temple. Why? Because I think they're just a better team, personally. The ACC is what it is, but don't forget, Temple's been producing some good players. I just do think, personally, that Temple's probably going to win this thing. So, next up, Michigan State at 6-6. And Wake Forest at 8-4. Michigan State's favored by 5 points here, and if they lose this game, I don't even know if I can pick Michigan State next year whatsoever. I mean, yeah, I will, but I don't know. Get Izzo to coach this team as well, as well as their basketball team. I'm just kidding. No disrespect to their head coach. I don't know who it is. But in the Pinstripe Bowl, I'm going to take Michigan State, but they better win this game. That's all I got to say. They need to win this game. Anyway, then we had number 25, Oklahoma State. 8-4, Texas Tech at 7-5. Texas Tech is favored by 7 points in the Texas Bowl. Well, guess what? I'm going to go with them as well. It's going to be a great game in the Academy Sports and Outdoors Texas Bowl, but I think Texas A&M will edge out a really good Cowboys team. Next up here, we have the 10-2 Air Force Falcons taking on Washington State at 6-6 in the Cheez-It Bowl, and you know what? They're taking Air Force. I'm going to go Wazoo in this game because, once again, I think Wazoo is just a little more battle-tested. I'm going the opposite of Washington in Boise State. I think Washington State, I totally sound like a hypocrite now. I'm going back on my word, but they're in the bigger conference. They've had more competition. I think they're battle tested. I think Washington State will win this thing, and their Air Force is only favored by 3 points, so I'm taking Washington. Then we have here on Saturday, December 28th, Memphis, number 17, Memphis, in those really cool uniforms at 12-1. Then we have number 10, Penn State at 10-2. I really want this to win this thing, and I think I even picked them to win this thing. Penn State's a great pick in this game. Of course, they're a little more battle tested. They're in a bigger division, but you know what? Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, Memphis all day long. Number 15, Notre Dame at 10-2. Iowa State at 7-5. Notre Dame's favored by 4 points. I think they're probably going to win by more. I'm taking Notre Dame in the Camping World Bowl. Then after the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, as we already said, I have number 1 LSU over Oklahoma, and then I have number 2 Ohio State over Clemson in the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. Those are both college football playoff games. Anyway, then that is on Saturday, December 28th. Then on till Monday, December 30th, Western Kentucky at 8-4. Western Michigan at 7-5, 3.5 points. The Hilltoppers are favored by, well, guess what? I'm going to be taking those Hilltoppers. If they don't win this game, Wow, but I'm just kidding. I think it'd be a really close game. It'd be a really good game. Western Michigan is another team that they were a couple years ago, is what it is. I'm taking the Hilltoppers. Anyway, on to the Franklin American Mortgage Music City Bowl. Mississippi State at 6-6, Louisville at 7-5. Mississippi State's favored by four points, and I'm taking them because why? They're in the SEC and they're just a tough team. I'm taking Mississippi State all day. Anyway, Cal taking on Illinois. Cal at 7-5. Illinois at 6-6 in the Red Box Bowl. Cal is favored by 7 points. I'm just going Pac-12 just because. My bad, Luke and Daniel. I'm going Cal. I know they're Illinois guys. They're Illini. Well, I'm not the biggest Cal fan because I'm a USC guy, but it's California, so I'm taking the East Coast. I'm sorry, I'm taking the West Coast here. Going Cal to win this thing. Pac-12. Take the Pac-12. So anyway, Capital One Orange Bowl. We have number 9 Florida at 10-2 and number 24 Virginia. Virginia had a really good opportunity this year. Well, they didn't. It was Clemson they played. My bad. They have a good opportunity again to play Florida. I think it's going to be another my bad. I'm sorry, Virginia, but I just think Florida's a better team. They're favored by 15 points. They're going to win this game. Next up here, my bad. Tuesday, December 20th. I mean, they could possibly win it. I think Virginia will give them a better fight than the 15-point spread, but I got Florida. Anyway, Tuesday, December 31st, New Year's Eve. Virginia Tech at 8-4. Kentucky at 7-5 in the Buck Bowl. I'm going to take Virginia Tech, but it's going to be a close game. Anyway, Florida State at 6-6. Arizona State at 7-5 in the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. I'm sorry, I can't. Sun Devils all day. Why? Because Herm Edwards, that's my boy. Anyway, number 23, Navy at 10-2. Kansas State at 8-4. They got Navy favored by 2.5 points in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, and I think that's a safe pick there. Navy, they look good in the Army-Navy Bowl, that was a pretty good game. They broke the streak of 3 years. Congratulations to the Navy, and I think the midshipmen are going to win this. Sorry, the midshipmen, didn't sound good coming out, saying it so fast. I think the midshipmen are going to win this thing in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Wyoming at 7-5. Georgia State at 7-5. I am going with the Cowboys. Actually, no, I'm going to go Georgia State in this game. No, actually, I'm going to go with the Cowboys. Close game here, but it's going Mountain West. Number 11, Utah, 11-2. Texas at 7-5 in the Valero Alamo Bowl. Utah didn't win the Pac-12 South. They won the Pac-12 South. They did not win the Pac-12 championship. I think they're going to retaliate. It should be a good game. I'm taking Utah over Texas. Wednesday, January 1st, New Year's Day. We have number 18, Minnesota at 10-2. Number 12, Auburn at 9-3. I'm taking Auburn. Why? Was the SEC. Number 14, Michigan at 9-3. Number 13, Alabama at 10-2. 7 points favored by Alabama in the VRBO Citrus Bowl. I'm going Bama as well. Number 6, Oregon at 11-2. Number 8, Wisconsin at 10-3. They got Wisconsin by 3 points. I'm going Oregon by 3 points. How you like that? In the All-State Sugar Bowl. Number 5, Georgia at 11-2, taking on number 7 Baylor at 11-2. They got Georgia favored by 7 points. I think they've had enough frustration this year. I think Georgia's going to find a way to win this game. After that, we have Thursday, January 2nd, Boston College at 6-2. Boston College at 6-2. 6-6. And number 21 Cincinnati at 10-3 in the Ticket Smarter Birmingham Bowl. This is going to be a great game. Cincinnati's favored by 7 points. I think they're going to win this game by 7 points. Indiana at 8-4. Tennessee at 7-5. Tennessee's favored by 2 points. That's a safe pick. But they need to win this game. Okay, so I am taking the Volunteers. Next up here we have and that was on Friday, January 3rd. On to Saturday, January 4th. We have Southern Miss at 7-5. Tulane at 6-6. Tulane is favored by 7 points in the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. I am going to take Tulane as well by 7 points. Then we have on Monday, January 6th, the Lending Tree Bowl. Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns at 10-3, and Miami of Ohio at 8-5. This should be a really good game. I want to take Miami of Ohio so bad, but I think the Raging Cajuns will find a way to win this thing. Not find a way. They're favored by 14 points. I think that's about a good spread. It'd be great to see Miami of Ohio get a good victory here, but is what it is, but I'm going Raging Cajuns to win this game. Okay, after that, of course, Monday, January 13th, 1 week from January 6th. Well, that is the College Football Playoff National Championship game, and you already heard my thoughts. I'm going to predict right now LSU taking on Ohio State, and in that, I have to at least go with the prediction at the moment. I will go with Ohio State. However, we shall see how it all goes down. So, anyway, y'all, that is going to do it for me tonight. I got to get off air because, D and Mike are ready to rock and roll. So, with that said, y'all, you know the drill. Cue the music because we're out of here. It's been a fun one, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. It has been a great show. Talked tons of college football, and, we'll be right back actually next week. We'll see if Taryn will be with us next week, but If not, you'll get another whole bunch of me coming your way. So, with that said, y'all can follow me at the THE_LV53 on Twitter. Follow us all as a whole at IE Sports Radio on Twitter, on Instagram. Give us a like on Facebook at IE Sports Radio as well. Check us out at IESportsRadio.com and check us out all over the place, y'all. We're on all these major platforms, all over podcasts. Wherever you get your podcasts, we're pretty much gonna be there, except for like maybe a few, but we're working on getting there too. So, with that said, y'all, this is me, boy Larry B, signing off. I will see y'all tomorrow for 3 and Out, the Saturday football edition. That's right, y'all. With that said, well, that will do it for me, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Until then, take care, and as always, God bless.